That's not the first thing I thought you'd take off, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for the final edition, of the canonical James Bond movies that we're reviewing here on the Millionth channel. My name is James, joined once again by Henry and Tom. And today, yes, we are talking about not Spectre, No Time to Die. Yeah. Released last year.
Spectre 2.
Released last year, yeah. Spectre's kind of lesser
Released
sequel.
in 2021.
Was it like...
2021?
Yeah, 2021.
It was that long ago.
Wow. And even then it was delayed. So obviously the context for this is that obviously it was made during COVID and it was delayed, or before COVID, but it was delayed like 2 or 3 times, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be released in 2019.
Yeah.
It's the 50th anniversary of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which this film tries to emulate a lot.
Okay.
As you can see.
But yeah, I know I saw it in cinemas twice. So for me, I actually saw it, the first time I saw it was on a date. So it's the first time I saw a Bond movie on a date, which was a cool experience. You know, it's like sort of a classic thing to do. So I'm glad I got to do that. Really, really enjoyed it. I like it. I love it when a film, but especially Bond film, is like a great cinematic experience. But at the same time, it's kind of, if you can't even do that, then that's like real problems. But yeah, my first experience in the cinema was incredible. I was shaken and stirred afterwards. Second time as well, it was so good. It's the first film I saw twice in the cinema, first ever time. Then I watched The Batman twice, which perhaps has aged slightly better. But yeah, No Time to Die was like significant for me when it first came out, for sure.
I mean, for me personally, I've seen this once in the cinema. I hadn't seen it since until yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like when it came to like the title of the film, kind of recent like trends in Hollywood as well, and
like the marketing and stuff.
I mean many things, and I was just like, as soon as I heard like they had All the Time in the World, like it's at the very beginning of the film, like, okay, I know exactly how this film is going to end, as well as, Phoebe Waller-Bridge writing it. But I do have to say that this film, for the most part, is like 80% very good, but it's missing some very key things that really drag it down, which is a massive shame, because Spectre, it had the potential, but not, it was too like a wounded animal, kind of like, it wasn't ever going to really go anywhere. But this, it had a lot of things going for it, like a lot of things going for it. But I think the main thing it was missing, personally speaking, was an actual coherent plot and a good villain, because it split it massively.
I think they just focused on all the wrong things. It just doesn't feel like a Bond film. That's the problem. I actually prefer Spectre to this. Having watched them now back to back, I think Spectre's, as a Bond film, Spectre's far more of a Bond film than this. This is just kind of depressing. When I watched it the third time, so like I said, I watched it twice in cinemas, haven't seen it since. Got brainwashed by Tom and Henry, like slagging it off.
I slagged off Spectre, I don't slag off this film.
Yeah, you slagged this off hard, man.
I slagged off how ridiculous the ending is, but...
And so yeah, going into the third viewing for me, which was last night, I had been influenced a lot by that. But having said all that, the other thing on my mind was that I enjoyed it so much in the cinema, I almost didn't want to watch it again, so I wouldn't lose that kind of experience. But now that's happened, and I think this is quite a divisive film between Bond fans as well. A lot of Bond fans don't really care that much about this film. It's like it annoys a lot of people because of obviously what happens in it. For me, it was like I say, it just doesn't really feel like a Bond film. They do some Bond things, but they are focusing on themes that are just totally not Bond. Like, if I want to go and see something about this subject, I won't watch a Bond film.
Yeah,
that's right. I want to be entertained, which I was in the cinema, but yeah, when I reflect on it, I'm like, it's not a film I will probably. It doesn't have great rewatch value.
Yeah, so it doesn't have that. It's nearly 3
hours.
hours.
Yeah, it's way too long. Way too long.
And
I'm not afraid of long films. I like, I had mentioned
Scarface,
the Batman, whatever. Well, I'm talking about more recent ones. The Batman, Blade Runner 2049. If you use the time effectively, then it's fine. I could watch 4 hours of Blade Runner. I could watch 4 hours of the Batman. but this no.
Yeah, because they have. It's ironic. They think, oh yeah, we're going to use a song all the time in the world. We're going to apply that to the film, and actually, very little happens in this film, despite that. Really, if you think about it.
And what was your reactions on them?
Yeah, I saw it once in the cinema, and like, to be honest, I don't know why, but I watched it very pessimistically. Like, most of the stuff that got people, like, I don't know, shaky in their seats was not so, like, didn't have as much of an impact on me. The thing that I noticed that the film, like, doesn't do as well, especially as well as Spectre, is, like, dialogue. Like, the dialogue I felt was really predictable, and like it felt really cliche at many points.
Extremely on the nose.
Yeah.
Especially, you know what, I couldn't believe how much of it was just like, I don't know, like the writing, like you said, Phoebe Waller-Bridge got involved.
Yeah,
and
she might be on the next one as well.
Per Daniel Craig's request.
Yes.
Yeah, Daniel Craig was given.
I wasn't really aware of the
control.
connotations of that, but actually now that I am, I can really tell, like, yeah, it's just so much, especially when Felix Leiter is delivering his lines, man. I mean, they're all good actors, but some of the dialogue is just like
massively off.
Yeah, even more like, you know, we criticised GoldenEye, for example, for its like sort of on the nose cliche kind of like. This was perhaps even more, because at least GoldenEye's got like more upbeat moments. It's got more like, I mean, there's straight two kind of very different films, but those are films that come to me that are like poorly written. And this is one of them as well. Maybe the most poorly written Bond film, actually. There's just so many lines where I'm like, you know,
whatever.
Yeah, like, you know, come on. I mean, they tried to please Bond fans in a lot of ways, but then Bond fans have literally heard some of these lines 2 or 3 or 4, seen these situations 3 or 4 times already, you know, and it's tiring and depressing. There's not really much I look forward to when watching this. I look forward to 2 things, actually. Felix Leiter and Ana de Armas. That's literally it, right? Like, other than that, like, there's not really much. And they're both in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're both out of it after the first.
Yeah, so it's like, there's like, what else is left in this that I remember? Nothing. It's got decent action, car chase, but nothing that memorable. Actually, Spectre had better moments.
I think so too. Like, that film is, what I said last time, was stable at least. It's not like, it might be very slow and stuff, but it's not like.
Called Spectre slow.
It is, like, especially when they're in the desert and stuff like that. It drags on for me, but like this film just like they tried to, it was really un-Bond, and like they almost tried to make it like Titanic or something. It
felt like Titanic or some. They were trying to do a lot of Mission Impossible stuff. I didn't really understand it. Like and yeah, you're right. There's just like all this. I don't know. They just focused on things that just aren't Bond, you know. And
that was after so many years of filming as well. Like,
there's
so many delays.
I will say the build up to this was very exciting because obviously Billie Eilish did the music, and I believe won an Oscar for it. Let me check that. So, and that obviously, that song and all that hype was like on the second release announcement or whatever, and then it got delayed again. So I had like 6 months to sit on that as well. I don't know.
They did try a little bit of outrage marketing, and then if you remember the trailer, which made it look like Lashana Lynch would be like.
Yeah. They tried capitalizing on that a bit, which
like rage marketing.
I don't know what they were trying to do with that, because like you're just going to irritate the people who've been loyal to like watching it and everything all this time, and please people who don't care about James Bond or don't like it.
But in fairness, though, I was very glad to see that her character's actually not that bad in this film.
No, her character was fine.
They have like a good kind of.
But again, I would have much. They're trying to focus on so many things. There's too many new faces, right? Like, you just strip off a lot of the like unnecessary, and then give her more screen time. Give Ana de Armas more screen time. Give Jeffrey Wright more screen time.
Give Safin more screen time.
Safin's.
You've got to have like you have to have like a villain.
You know, you could have made Cyclops like more, or bring back Dave Bautista, or even Blofeld. Like, try and fix him. Like, you know, try. You know, instead you've just got so many relevant characters. Or Ash, even Ash. I don't know. Like, try and do something like more focused rather than just all these different things that none of them have enough time to really like stew.
Yeah. But I think
It was directed by, let me check.
Joji Fukunaga.
Fukunaga, yeah, who did True Detective,
And
the first series of True Detective, I believe, which is, very popular, and I do quite like it.
He's pretty good at his horror. I mean, you see it in the beginning.
I don't think I've seen any of his horror films.
Being he directed It.
Oh yeah, well I didn't. I watched It for like 2 minutes and then turned it off. It just looked terrible, but
yeah,
maybe I should give
not
it.
my sort of thing, but
Maybe I'll give it another chance. I know I'm a big horror fan, but yeah, this was actually nominated for 3 Oscars and it won 1. So that was for the song, obviously.
what were the other 2?
It was nominated for Best Sound and
Oh yeah, 'cause
Visual Effects. So I mean,
it's very
fair
much
play,
not.
but
Anyway.
these aren't really particularly like outstanding. I want to see like a Best Picture nod, like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Skyfall should have got, or I don't know. And even Daniel Craig just like
He looks bored.
Daniel Craig
quite a lot,
should have.
His performance was terrible in
Daniel
this.
Craig's perfect time to leave was Skyfall, and Spectre he could have still left with his head held high.
I think so, yeah.
For sure, he could have left his head because that film ended on a high note, and that was great, and that would have been fine. Then he would probably stay number 1 of our rankings, but we're gonna do our final rankings at the end of this episode and see
how
what
that
happens.
goes.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Yeah.
should we jump right into it then?
sure thing.
Well,
So
Right into the 24-minute long intro.
how long actually is it? Is it
24 minutes.
24 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
This
I
is
don't think-
a far departure from Octopussy the plane or the Moonraker and Jaws
Yeah.
pushes out, or like A View to a Kill. Or
Goldfinger.
Spy Love Me, the parachute Goldfinger. Like I really miss those things. Even the Pierce Brosnan ones in North Korea, in Alaska or whatever it was.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies. What happened to the openings?
They could just seriously. They could have just reshuffled this, right? So, because you have the horror bit at the beginning with where they rewrite that Blofeld totally didn't go to our house. It's actually Safin instead. But then you have the crux of it, which is Bond and Madeline, and then the DB5 chase, which I think is good. They just get the DB5 chase, put that as the opening titles.
Yeah, and then have the horror thing as like a flashback or
Yeah.
I think the
or something like
I
that.
think the intro is like where he shows up to the house. That should have just been the
You
intro.
could have just had that, and then that's more of like I don't know.
A hook, yeah.
Yeah, but you have because every for the last 30 years or so, every Bond opening has had Bond in it. But before then, you did have a few that didn't, right? Like The Man with the
Live
Golden
and
Gun.
Let Die.
Yeah.
Or Live and Let Die. Yeah. So okay, so you could have done that. Wouldn't have been so Bond. So obviously they're just I don't know. It's just a mess from the start, really.
Yeah. Well, might we point out as well? Real ones notice in the gun barrel there's no blood because
No.
symbolically he misses his target.
What target?
Well, presumably the villain or whatever.
Well, he
dies.
doesn't.
It shoots him 3 times.
Yeah, I know. But
so
the whole point is Bond dies at the end. Big surprise. So
that was a surprise to me. I was like,
I don't know, man.
anyway, we'll talk about the ending when we get there.
Obvious thing from the start of the film.
Anyway,
it's
so
fine.
yeah, we do get this Madeline's origin story. Basically,
Yeah.
we see Mrs. White, presumably, because we have Mr. White, and that's
Yeah.
his. So, and then Safin rocks up with his mask. It is pretty spooky, to be fair, and mysterious. When I was first watching it, because obviously, like, even you wouldn't have known who that was.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, you
No.
did.
After
You
the
knew
part,
it was
after the
Safin.
part of the mask got blown up, it's
Oh.
like it's obviously not Blofeld.
Yeah,
I
but
kinda-
you did know it was Safin, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's Blofeld is in this film because but then you have him as well. So it's like it should have been Blofeld, I think, because they literally
That would have been really cool.
they spent a lot of Spectre building him up, saying, oh well, he came to my house. He's like, yeah, I went to your house when you were little. You probably don't remember.
That would have been
That would have
sick.
been good.
Yeah, that would
Like,
have made
this
Blofeld better.
This
like
is
young
this is,
Blofeld.
yeah, I know, this is the hot take I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Personally speaking, if I was directing this film, I would have just kicked Rami Malek out of it entirely. I thought this could be like the redemption for Christoph Waltz's Blofeld.
Imagine if he breaks out of Belmarsh or
I
something.
remember- I remember-
Yeah, something
That'd
like
been
that.
sick.
And
yeah.
if it was him who ends up killing Bond, or they both end up dying, that would make some sort of
yeah, like
sense.
some boss battle,
Yeah.
like over lava pit or something.
That would have
like,
been
yeah, that would have been
been
sick.
Yeah, that would have been good. Like, I think
Even if he says cuckoo as the fucking
Yeah.
missiles come down.
Oh.
even with apparently even Rami Malek had he was shooting other films during this, so
Yeah.
he had really limited time he could do scenes with this.
Yeah,
And,
we never noticed.
I do think this scene is probably his best because it's like so mysterious and so.
Yeah,
like,
but there's like very few scenes
he's
to actually
very.
choose from.
I know, but
Yeah.
like, it puts him as like a bit creepy and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
and
it's
gives
good.
him a bit
He's
more.
unsettling, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with like where he saves Madeline, like
Yeah, the
which is
transition
quite-
is like it's her,
Oh yeah.
and
Fun.
then
Yeah, actually, do you want to bring your fun fact about the
Yeah,
Doctor No connection?
so
'Cause she shoots him,
basically, what they were trying to do, well, which was heavily rumored at the time, was try and have Saffron be like Doctor No as when he was young,
Yeah,
okay?
because he's wearing a no mask.
And
as
then
well.
like
a what?
a no mask. It's
and
like NGO.
Doctor No, I think in the novel has like 2 hearts or some really weird
No,
defect.
his heart's on the
Yeah,
right
he has,
side.
and so like when Madeline
That's fine.
shoots and he's got like a bullet hole there, that is meant to be like him surviving it because his defect, and then like people cottoned onto it basically, and because there were like promotion pictures and stuff, and yeah, so they must have ditched the idea and tried to do something really different, which they obviously didn't have much time for. So that would have been really weird, I think, if they had like this is young Doctor No, because obviously he would have had to survive. And then like have it some really weird loop back to like the beginning of Sean Connery's films.
Yeah, that's really
That would have been very weird, but like, yeah, I don't know if you knew about that.
Yeah,
James.
that would create the endless Bond marathon, you know. It's like
Yeah.
a time loop. Nah.
Anyway,
Cycle
so
of
then
Bond.
then we're in Italy, and
We had also great sound design, yet Madeline firing like a Desert Eagle like 6 times.
oh
a
yeah,
day,
no
just, like,
recoil.
doesn't
or anything.
get deafened
7-year-old
by
knows
that.
how to use a gun perfectly. So
Yeah.
that makes
got
sense.
perfect marksmanship.
Because we have all the other grenades and stuff going off, and we have all of that, but a gun,
doesn't
it's
make any
basically
noise.
no. It's,
Doesn't
Basically
even have a-
harmless.
If it's a silencer, there's no audio at all.
no, it's
Also, she's watching Wallace and Gromit. You know, she likes to point it out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Wallace and Gromit was on TV.
I didn't notice that.
I've noticed that. I was watching that instead of the film.
That's
in the
crazy.
cinema, man.
And then so then Bond and Madeline, they're on holiday in Italy, burning wishes.
Yeah.
Wow. And we got our first Vesper mention.
Oh.
So
No,
yeah, I can't really remember. I'm trying to cast my mind back. I think I was just so engulfed in like the atmosphere, and the beginning really did hook me in.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I just want to see what's happening. But yeah, then upon rewatch, you're like, oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
As soon as I
And then not only that, so like they mention her. He goes to her grave. You see the writing. Then just got a little picture on it as well. Like, come on, man. And then we get
like no one cares.
Yeah.
I
literally.
remember before I went to see this, I was like, I was dreading when they bring up Vesper again, and I'd be like, yeah, they're gonna bring.
Oh, I
up...
didn't think that because
And
they
then,
left her
like,
alone for 3 films. So
Not really, because they mentioned
they
in
mentioned
Spectre.
Spectre.
Oh, if Vesper
Oh,
died
yeah.
or something, and then like not really in
And I
Skyfall.
had a picture of her on the wall in MI6 as well.
Oh yeah, and then like in Quantum of Solace as well. So like only
Well, Quantum of Solace
Skyfall.
made sense.
Only Skyfall was not touched by all this.
Yeah, that's why
stuff.
Skyfall was the best one.
No, but Quantum of Solace, in fairness, like it makes
Yeah, it's a
sense.
sequel. It's a direct.
literally
Yeah,
a direct sequel.
but still.
I think when they this is a bit unrelated, but when they brought up Blofeld was going to be back in the film because
Yeah.
he got his scar in Spectre, I kind of thought, well, is he going to like lose his hair or something in this one, and then
Oh, that would have been sick.
then it
Bald
becomes like the
Christopher
one from You Only Live Twice or something. But
Yeah, you could have even done that.
It doesn't really. I don't think the look of it doesn't really matter. It's
Oh,
like
but could you imagine?
no, but
that
he
would
just
be a
needs
great
to-
reveal.
he just
his
needs
hair
to
gets like
play
singed
Blofeld,
off or
man.
something.
Yeah. Whatever. So anyway, then he meets. Oh yeah, so then the grave blows up and.
No, not before he says.
Oh yeah, I miss you. Yeah.
He gets blown.
He does this. He's like,
Yeah, he's
I
like,
miss you. Like he forgot his line and then said it.
Yeah.
He looks confused. He was
yeah,
like,
I was waiting for him to say the line. I was like, oh, fuck.
I miss you. Yeah. So whatever. Anyway,
That's humiliation.
probably should be in a long, serious relationship if that's still the way you feel. But okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the
Yeah.
grave explodes. He tries calling.
Right.
Well, yeah,
his
'cause
face.
he gets a Spectre card. He's like
Yeah, that's right.
Spectre business card.
Which is cool, and that was a jump scare, man. I
Yeah,
didn't
true.
expect that. Anyway, so then he goes and meets Cyclops on his way back.
Yeah.
Cyclops is an interesting henchman. I think he's,
Yeah.
He's got terrible trim.
he does, yeah.
They
but-
don't use it.
I
like that,
remember
but-
like when James Bond jumps on the rope down the bridge
That
to
was
avoid
cool.
them, and then like you see the guy take off his glasses. He's got this really
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
eye. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the
yeah,
heck
yeah,
when I
yeah,
saw that in
yeah,
the
yeah.
cinema.
They
So
did
I think that was pretty cool.
They
Yeah.
didn't use that guy enough though, which is a shame. One thing I didn't get as well is like Bond like Goroskin, this guy can give out a whole speech as well somehow.
well,
Yeah.
Bond's like what 60 in this, so like
Yeah.
Bond's 95.
Near enough, man.
It's like, Madeline is daughter of Spectre.
Yeah, and then repeats it in case you didn't hear it the first time. He says
did
it
you
twice.
turn your hearing aids off?
Daughter of who? Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
He like
though.
writes it down for
I was like,
something.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching that cinema. I was like, that doesn't even make sense though. And,
Yeah,
that's all.
like this is part where it goes really dumb in my
Daughter of
opinion, because
Quantum.
like she literally got strapped to a bomb in the last film by Blofeld, and then it's like, oh well, she's really compromised now just because Blofeld rings her phone and says so, and it's like, which makes me
Yeah,
wonder
he
how he
got-
got her phone number, but like,
Yeah, I wonder how he got a bionic eye into Belmarsh prison, man.
well, I don't know, it's Blofeld.
Did
Like
he have that installed in like the previous film? Because it certainly didn't look like it.
maybe I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
did.
He might have, because he
Why
had
not?
that
No,
wound.
very
He
obviously
had
retconned
that
it,
wound at the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of Spectre, so maybe when he was in
Yeah.
hospital, he
Yeah.
like
That's what I think. That would make
bribed
sense.
someone or
I
something.
think that's a really cool idea.
It's possible. I did find
And
it.
again, that's another thing they could have focused on a bit more. Like, have a bit more like lore around that. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, but they just tried to. They're spinning so many places.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
we go back to a relationship drama. As,
No. So first of all, he gets on his bike,
yeah.
which is sick.
On
He
the
does a
bike.
really cool couple of really cool stunts.
It's funny though. Like as soon as he goes to go up the stairs, it cuts to him already at the top of the stairs as well. I just noticed.
Yeah, and then he finds Madeline, and he's like, oh, we all have our secrets. Gets in his car. His DB5, of course, is
Yeah.
back.
They have a great chase in this, to be fair.
Pretty good
They
chase.
actually find, to be honest, even with the one in Goldfinger and Thunderball, you see it for 2 seconds. That's never really gotten a very, very good action scene.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, Goldfinger's one's pretty good, to be fair. This is a very
And even Skyfall, it gets some action.
Yeah,
true, but this is like I'd probably say maybe it's second best.
Yeah,
maybe?
second best.
Second
Okay.
best action scene.
My favourite bit is when the guy comes and like he's testing the bulletproof glass.
Yeah, seriously.
I think that was cool because that was a good moment because Danny Craig's there just like
Don't care.
yeah, he's just
Yeah,
like
but I don't
whatever.
understand
He's
that-
fuming. He's fuming, but he's just like
It
I
is-
think that's a great moment.
It is a bit irritating though, because he's like, oh yeah, obviously you're on their side. When this guy's got a gun pointed to her head, like if it was on his side, maybe that would make sense. But like, it's like, oh yeah, she's so devoted to Spectre, she'd get a bullet through the skull for that, you know.
Well, I don't know.
And it's like annoying because like this whole car just saying, oh, you've got this secret. I don't have a secret. You got the secret. I don't have a secret.
Yeah.
And it's like for half an hour they're doing this shit. And
And
it's like, I don't
That's what ruined the
care.
chase for me. It's just there's too many cutbacks to like other random
You
stuff.
didn't get to your secret yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
look at this phone. It's got the Spectre's logo on it. Look at that. It's your secret.
and she's like, oh, I've got something to tell you. And
Yeah.
doesn't tell him it, and then it's
Well,
like,
Why don't
spill
you
the
tell-
beans then, yeah.
Yeah, imagine that he's just driving along and like getting like grenades thrown at his car. And he's like, oh, by the way, you got a kid. He's like, fucking steers off a cliff, you know.
yeah.
True. But I don't,
That's right.
I don't know, like
She's probably afraid that he'd use the ejector seat on her and leave, you know.
I don't know. Anyway, so then he puts on the train, and yeah, I don't know. Watching it back, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what it was all about.
Oh no, but guys, remember, she like touches her stomach, so that means that she's pregnant.
Yeah, and then obviously, yeah, that does a nice fade into Billie Eilish's song.
I like the little reference to like
Doctor
No with the dots and stuff starting off.
that
That
was
was cool in
that
the
was-
cinema,
Yeah, did it
but
in
like,
Quantum of Solace too, but
yeah. And then I like the other reference with like the girl under the ice, like through a silhouette, you can see.
there's loads of references.
I think
Yeah, it's
I like
packed
the
with
visual
references.
references in this are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I really like the bit where the people made out of like poison plants go up.
That's
And
good.
they've got
But then
the
it sounds
masks.
really generic. There's like with the blue smoke and stuff, blue dust or whatever, and like I'm like,
If
what's
I'm
that
being-
then?
well,
It just
yeah.
looks like any music video like made on like Adobe or something.
True,
So,
but
you
the
know.
best parts of the opening credits of this, I mean the actual the visual credits part.
Yeah.
Is it's really good. I mean, it should be for this time. Like like the DB5 falling down on like the gears of a clock and so on.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's
Lots of
not
cool bits.
memorable for me. I like Casino Royale's the best.
Yeah, because Casino Royale is
And
probably
Skyfall.
the best because it's
The
like
others are like, bah. You know, I love the. I actually think more to the music video. Music videos sometimes for when I think of no. Another Way to Die. The music video for that is great. That's literally how I remember it because it's in the desert and stuff, and it's like really cool. It actually looks kind of like from a Bond film, and actually also The Writings on the Wall. That music video is quite good. Well, it was decent.
Yeah.
And also I remember Bond like with his muscles and that. So obviously
they got like now I think about it, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die will have like these kind of dreary, kind of low energy songs a bit like.
I mean, Skyfall's full
like,
of energy, man.
Not as
I know what you mean.
She sounds like deep in that.
I
Like,
I literally.
I love how like energetic Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale's ones were, like upbeat kind of.
I think the song itself in this for Mobility Issue is very good. It's
pretty
quite
good.
dark, obviously, and like depressing, but it is also good. I like how she paid homage to Shirley Bassey in it as well.
How?
Well, holding the, I know it's not that, but it is like holding the final note, like with Goldfinger.
Oh yeah.
Or he
What
loves
about
gold.
What about Tom Jones though with Thunderbolt? Yeah.
Tom Jones, man.
By the way, yeah, the thing is, just like I listened to literally both of this earlier as well as Skyfall Rafters. This kind of just feels like a
Yeah. That's exactly how I describe it.
It's like if Skyfall and like Respected by Radiohead had a child,
pretty much.
but it's not that. It's all right.
Okay, so then we cut to London and this lab in this fancy lab.
Yeah.
Where we meet Borat himself.
Yeah, literally.
Definitely the worst character in any Daniel Craig Bond film.
You know what this scene reminds me of? Because it feels like they tried to rip off the one from Goldfinger. No, GoldenEye, where like Boris betrays him and then gets taken out, and then he's like the weird nerdy guy who like is the brains behind a lot of this.
But he was cool. He was they were all interesting.
Yeah, that's why I said badly ripped off.
This is just like tomato soup has more than your brains combined.
Speaking of Boris as well, the guy who plays him, Alan Cummings, is it?
Yeah.
He roasted this film for like he literally said
Really?
what the fuck when he saw the runtime of it. He was like, why is a Bond film like nearly 3 hours long? He was like,
fair play.
I was like, that's fair enough, but still, yeah. I mean, so literally they just get like the plot MacGuffin here, which is less super virus, DNA coded, whatever.
I think they could have had him gotten that rid of and like maybe even got rid of this scene.
Scrap him.
They could have had like his scenes with more Safin scenes.
No,
and, like,
you have him and then just shoot him when he hands over the poison.
Exactly. Why do they need him in this film?
They could have
comic
had
relief and explaining everything to the audience.
They could have had Safin like.
Might as well have
implement
had.
it.
They might as well in a 4D cinema. Yeah, you could have 4D cinema, right?
Have a
Where
live
have
camera.
actual clubs beating you over the head when he's talking.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. That's actually what they're doing.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the worst parts of this film.
Easily.
But yeah, they get like the.
I mean, he was kind of funny the first time, sometimes, but most of it was just like
every time afterwards.
yeah, 90% of it.
You've got like that weird magnet,
rubbish.
that magnet thing that goes down the lift.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, no, but
it's like the sci-fi stuff, man. I'm
it's
like, that's great.
Magnets for all the people who didn't know.
Oh yeah, like come on, man. Like we get it.
Yeah. Oh, anti-gravity. I haven't fallen and died because this is holding me here.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
The actual break in itself is pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's all very
it's
nicely
a great
filmed.
transition as well from the
Yeah,
song.
yeah. I like it goes like upside down and all that. That's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, they do that lift shaft jump.
This is also
which
5
very
years
cool.
later, which is literally real time as well.
Huh. Yeah, you got okay. So then we catch up with Moneypenny again, and M's a bit hot under the collar because he's being like, he's keeping secrets as well, guys. We've all got secrets.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's like getting exposed basically. So that's fun. And then we get back to Bond in Jamaica.
I swear this is like Ian Fleming's actual house, GoldenEye they filmed in or something.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
so,
sure.
or something like that. But again, it's like
drugs.
okay, yeah, we all know. Yeah, Ian Fleming wrote his Bond books in Jamaica. We all know that. They've visited Jamaica multiple times in Bond films. This isn't the first time that's been done. Probably is. It was interesting to see, and I'd like to see that part of Jamaica because the rest of it is. I don't think it's like that. But but yeah, like it was a nice insight. I like seeing the club and the clubs that they go to and everything, sort of the nightlife. That was he's doing his fishing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice. But yeah, then he goes and meets up with his old mate Felix Leiter, which is fun.
Yeah.
As well as the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the thing is that like not to like bash on Felix Leiter the character too much, especially this one, but like I think they try to like build the emotional stakes in this film, like, and they just try and in a way retcon him and like force this relationship that was never built up.
I agree.
It's like, oh my brother's got another mother, and it's
times,
like
old times, man.
And the only time he met him on a staircase for 10 seconds once, and like in a pub for another like 20 seconds.
Yeah, so you have to like assume they did some missions off screen.
He does like stick up for Bond and Quantum of Solace, but
Yeah.
that's behind his back, and Bond doesn't know about it when he's like, oh, I don't recognise him on the phone. And then like here it's like, oh, we've always been friends, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh.
they do play into it a little too hard. Like, cause
Yes,
it's like
it
with
was-
Jeffrey Wright, you don't have to like emphasize.
We
that
get it, yeah.
You don't have to
like-
emphasize that he's friendly. Like even in, like
Yeah.
for example in the Batman, you don't see them previously having interacted. You just know.
He's just the ultimate buddy cop. But the Batman's far better written than this.
Yeah, true.
Jeffrey Wright's character was far better written in the Batman than this. This is embarrassing. Like, I actually felt embarrassed with some of the lines. No, we don't know the good from the bad. We don't know
Yeah,
the
that's
heroes from
literally-
the
We've
that's-
heard the same thing like
That's,
5
that's
times
ripped
now.
straight from Quantum of Solace with Matthias. It's like, oh, it's hard stuff
No,
from
but
the
they
from the
even
heroes
say-
today, and it's like,
They even say that like back in GoldenEye where it was like Cold War doesn't exist anymore. I guess where it's not.
Skyfall. Oh yeah,
They're in the shadows.
Yeah, they're in the
Oh,
shadows.
shadows.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is just beating you over the head. It's really cringe dialogue. You have Ash there as well, who, to be fair, was very mysterious. And
Yeah, true.
I was like, that threw me. I was like, what?
Yeah, he smiles too much. I thought it was just he's just one of those other idiots.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this guy was just really It's pretty good deep cover, actually, to be fair. But anyway, so yeah, they have their cringe dialogue.
I think it's pretty good. I don't know, one thing that spooked me a little bit was when they're all like in this party fun place, whatever, and then
Oh,
they
you see
leave.
Cyclops.
Yeah, you see Cyclops
Yeah.
just turn
Yeah,
and
I
it's like,
forgot
oh,
that
what's
he
going to
was in
happen?
there.
And it's like,
Yeah,
but nothing does happen. It's like, okay.
And then Bond meets 007.
Yeah.
So he gets on her bike, and they drive off,
Yeah,
and then
she
they go back
breaks
to
in
his
his
place, and she's like, "Oh, is this a bedroom?" And he's like, "Oh, all right then." Like, and then she.
Live and let die reference. Yeah.
I wish I'd seen this in a UK cinema just to see what the reaction to this exact moment was when she takes her wig off. I really would have liked to have seen people, because there's so much like, I don't know. That's very like, I feel like it's a very specific kind of like London thing. I'm not going to go too much into that, but anyway.
It's not the first thing it's going to take.
Not the first. That was a great line. That got a laugh, obviously.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yeah, I'll put a bullet in your knee, the one that works." What does that mean?
Yeah, because he
What's
didn't
that
get.
reference to? Because he didn't injure his knee in any film.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
Daniel
just-
Craig did, but
I think
like,
it's just saying
oh,
that
you're
he's
just
old,
old.
yeah, it's just
basically.
that he's
Yeah.
old, the one that works.
It's like I could put a bullet in your
That
shoulder.
that sounds like it's like meant to be some kind of law, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Like-
where did that go?
And one thing that
They
I
loved
find
using that in the trailer.
one thing
by
that
the
I
way,
find
for
super-
rage,
Yeah,
for rage marketing.
super dumb in like this bit is like, oh, by the way, I'm not just any 00, I'm 007, and that's supposed to rattle Bond, which
Yeah,
obviously-
he doesn't give a monkey.
but, like,
yeah, exactly.
that's kind of that defeats itself, because like, why is that number great? Because he made it great. So like, if you're that number, it's like, why don't you just go down there like, oh, what, and why do you like?
Yeah, it's
007?
kind of like,
And it's
I don't know, like I could pull out a football analogy. It's like, okay, so Man United, they're like always had problems with like, well, there's just this thing about the number 7 shirt. So Beckham wore it, Ronaldo wore it, Cantona wore it. So it's like got a lot of history, and then they just kind of give it to everyone since, like it's really random players, and they never fulfill the. So now it's like, I think now Mason Mount has it. So it's like if Mason Mount goes to Ronaldo and he's like, yeah, I have the number 7 shirt now. Ronaldo's going, who are you, bro? Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's literally Bond in this.
Yeah, but it's true. But they do have like, they have this kind of spite for each other, if that makes sense. But then like, they end up resolving
it's frosty.
it throughout the
Yeah, it's
film.
frosty,
Yeah, they end
right.
up resolving it and end up kind of respecting.
I enjoy the dynamic a lot. I actually think this is,
Not bad.
let me find her name. What was her name?
Sound
Know
Lynch.
Me or something.
Yeah,
The
but
character's name's Naomi.
Nomi, but the actress is...
Lashana
Lashana
Lynch.
okay, you got all the answers. So yeah,
Yeah.
she was good, but I just, this is the other thing, the problem is, right? So you've got all these sort of side spin-off characters in this film, and then the problem with like with this era of like fans of films is they're all going, like, their reflex response of a character they see in a film that they like, but wasn't on it for too long. They go, oh, they should have their own spin-off film.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
always. And De Armas.
Yeah,
as well.
give her a spin-off film. Oh, give 007 a spin-off film. And I'm like, well,
Give Q a spin-off.
well, why don't we give Valentin Sikovsky a spin-off film? I would like to see that.
Or
Is it going to
VJ.
happen? No. It's like,
Yeah, let's
so
get
it's just,
Jack Wade out there, man.
and furthermore,
Sharky
even
as
if
well.
you did have this spin-off film, no one will watch it, including probably the same people that are touting these lazy opinions. So don't give me that. Don't give me that.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then
Is this
Bond
where Q-
calls M, and
Oh yeah, because M's standing right in front of the Aston Martin Valhalla in a wind tunnel, and they're just like, yeah, look at this cool car. We're not going to use it throughout this whole film.
I feel like they were going to use it, but they just kind of cut it and like.
Nah, they would.
Or got
like,
some. I don't even know. Like.
In fairness, though, I'm kind of. I
That's
wish
probably
they
one of the earliest.
I wish they didn't
shot.
show it like in the wind tunnel because they weren't going to use it. But I'm glad they didn't use it as well because it's an ugly car. So it's like a race car, not a Bond car.
what is cool is so he has this chat with Bond over the phone, and then when he puts down the phone, he's like, okay, the CIA have the advantage,
Yeah.
and then he goes and like, it's like, oh, get me Blofeld, which is a pretty cool line for M to be able to say.
Yeah.
So there's that as well
You get this
happening.
crappy like pretending to be insane in there,
Well, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fair,
that was
that's quite.
funny, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
but
wasn't
what does
that
that
bad.
remind me of? You said that they. I remember you saying it was in one of the Batman films or one of the Saw films we were reviewing, where like someone does something similar. Or was it Jesse Eisenberg's? It was Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, where he's doing that crappy like pretending to be insane in the prison or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, that was much worse than this.
Yeah. This wasn't like I on my second viewing with this, I was like, okay, this is not as bad as talk, because I was just like full of Spectre hatred when I was in the cinema. But
So then we get to meet Anna de Armas' character. So this is like easily the highlight of the film. Bond
3 weeks
is
training.
all her dialogue is great. The only thing that kind of annoyed me is like a stupid like theme song, whatever that she has. But then again, that is a very Bond thing as well. Like
Yeah.
you have plenty of side characters that have their own little sort of jingle, so I can't really begrudge her that. But yeah, man, I don't think I could say anything about her that hasn't been said already.
Yeah.
So
No,
We shout the Spectre birthday party.
yes, so they're attending Blofeld's party.
That's
And Bond is-
completely over the top. Like, there's like Blofeld's eye on the cushion.
No, I
or
think that
something.
was cool.
No.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
alright.
'Cause I didn't
it's
know it was-
very. It's
Didn't know
very.
what was going on either.
It's kind of like very something that only James Bond could do. Like have something as.
No, I think that was really.
Imagine
Yeah,
Roger
but
Moore's
I'm not saying it's
situation,
bad,
The
it's
amount
just
of
really
eyebrow
unique.
raises, you know.
And I just think the whole concept's cool. Obviously, it's still full of mystery at this point for me, anyway.
Well, no, not for the mystery. Not when the Russian scientist guy explains, I
Ah.
replaced Spectre DNA with this one because I dropped the chip.
heavy
and changed
sock.
the chip.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like he drops it very obviously in front of
Yeah.
Cyclops, who's apparently blind, you know.
Yeah, he's got those black
Yeah, surely you can
glasses.
see through
so maybe he
the
can't see
table or
through
something.
them,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So yeah.
Yeah, that's never played into. Like the eye is like
does nothing.
never gives like him any edge or anything.
Yeah. It's
Or
just like.
Blofeld for that matter, who has
Well,
one.
Blofeld it lets him see what's
Yeah,
going on.
but-
Yeah, they took it from Blofeld anyway, I swear.
Eventually.
No, I thought
but
they had
not-
two.
They had
No,
two.
Cyclops has one.
And that's how he
Blofeld
got at least
communicates.
two.
So then they took it from Blofeld.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's later. Yeah.
Okay.
Get confiscated in prison.
Anyway, so yeah, and then you just have this. So Blofeld's doing his like insane rambling, right? And then Bond's, and then he goes, and then he's like, chairs, toilet, fell, whatever. And then it's like, James Bond, and then it's like, everyone, and then I'm like, okay, what? They had to do the brother thing again. At least he didn't say cuckoo at this moment, but he's obviously saving that because that's what everyone's looking forward to.
I like how you get like some of the Spectre people you remember from that meeting, like
No, I
There's
didn't. I didn't recognise a single one.
There's that one who's speaking German a lot, and she's like, there's like
Oh.
Heil Blofeld or something when like his eyeballs brought over.
Oh.
It's funny. I know.
Yeah, because I was annoyed by that. I was like, there's no familiar faces here. Like, I wanted to see someone I recognised, but I wasn't paying attention that much. That's cool.
I actually
didn't
noticed that
notice that.
first time I saw
Yeah,
it.
Dave
It's kind of,
Bautista's in like full like cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if you just had him somewhere. That would have been really good. But anyway.
Oh yeah, he probably.
So then
got
they
too much.
sort of they take this Russian, whatever scientist he is, they get him Borat for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and then they keep trading between double.
Great success, whatever.
Yes, it is working.
Yeah.
Only Spectre is dying.
Yeah.
It's literally a line from the film.
Literally, whatever. And so then it's like back and forth between 007 turns up again. Nomi, by the way, is 007.
They keep nicking the hostage back and forth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, I think.
Yeah, he's getting passed around like a roach.
I
man.
quite like how the Cyclops managed to get away because he's like robots. So that's the only time him being like a cyborg is referenced, really.
No, but
He's not really a cyborg. He's just got a bionic
he's
arm.
not part of Spectre anyways, and like.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
He's part of-
he's in Rami Malek's base. Though.
No,
Later
don't
on,
you
remember?
like
Yeah.
he gets recruited by Logan Nash halfway through.
Oh yeah, he does.
Okay. So anyway, that's the thing. There's just too many side things going on for you to even pay attention to that. Anyway, so there's some pretty cool action. Anna de Armas goes, Bond goes, and 007 has some cool action where she's like shooting the.
Yeah, evading the police.
Yeah, caused like 20 million in property damage.
Probably a
It's-
lot
it's
less
in-
in that part
It's
of
in
the world.
Cuba,
Yeah,
so no one
exactly.
cares,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Filthy commies.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fairness, though, she's doing only what Bond does.
So then Bond flies Borat to the CIA boat.
Or rig or something.
Yeah, which is
Pretty sick.
So Felix is waiting for him, and also Ash. Bond is trying to interrogate this guy, and then Ash is like being annoying, and they both say
he's
shut
saying
up.
too much,
Blah blah blah, and then he goes, and then it turns out Ash is the villain, so he shoots Felix Leiter, has a pretty cool fist fight with Bond.
Yeah.
The scientist kicks over his gun.
That's a good moment, I think.
That's a good moment.
Yeah, especially Ash's face as well throughout a lot of this. He's just
Yeah,
like.
psychotic smile.
Yeah. He wasn't that bad actually. And then Bond, he goes down into the hull where Felix Leiter is, and he realizes, that's a lot of blood, mate. And unfortunately, this is where Felix Leiter dies, which is sad.
Yeah, the actual saddest death in this film.
Yeah, sad as death for like any Daniel Craig, apart from maybe Judi Dench.
Yeah.
But even then, actually, they're both like really, because they're people that they are characters that have actual non-forced relationship, even though Felix is a little bit forced in this film. But previously, they had a genuine sort of chemistry.
No. I was more personally devastated over a Strawberry Fields death.
Yeah,
Quantum.
Vespa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm still getting over Vespa.
Yeah, exactly. So like these are earned. These deaths are earned. These moments are earned. But and it's a shame because they do this like I just don't like it. Like Felix is like. It's a sad death, but he's like it's very undignified. Yeah, he's like floating like a fetus or something away. Like it's like a really crap version of Eva Green dying in Casino Royale. And you're like, it just reminds me of that. But it's just this sort of bald guy like floating away, and like hunched over as well. Like come on, give him a bit more dignified than that. That's not really fair, is it?
Well, Bond manages to escape. I have no idea how he pushed that giant door open under that amount of water pressure, but. Do you reckon it's possible? I'm a marine expert.
Well, the thing is that when he gets out, and there are hatches I think meant for that, but like he actually could have gone to the surface from there because it's only with equipment that you can get the bends and stuff apparently. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, if he swam as quickly as possible, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was that far.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, he
Anyway.
probably and the ship was like skewed, so he might have gone through a surface hatch or something.
Yeah,
don't think
maybe.
it's that.
What's crazy to me is he just finds some lifeboat and gets picked up by another ship, and then next thing you know, he's back in London. Like that just happened in 2
Yeah,
seconds.
he's
And I'm
not
like,
like-
whoa, how did what
He's not like
get
cast away or
whiplash from
something.
that transition, man. But anyway,
Yeah, true.
he sees Bulldog, that M gave him, which is
Is
nice.
that where you get 2 007s on screen for like 2
Oh
for a
yeah,
second?
Is it?
you get like a stunt double. I don't know if it was a stunt double, but you get
It's like
someone.
a movie mistake.
They fucked up the editing, right? You have Bond on screen twice.
Yeah, that happened in From Russia with Love, and even that was less obvious. Like,
I never
'cause you
noticed that.
see Daniel Craig on one side about to get in, you see someone else getting out on the other side, and it's like,
Okay.
okay. We do get to see the Vantage again, which I'm so happy about. I love that car, which is cool. And
that's right.
then they what?
No, he goes to M's office, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Well, actually, first he has to sign in,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's funny.
James Bond.
That was good Bond, James
That's
Bond.
quite funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he has this back and forth with Nomi 007, and
Does that irritate you? Does that irritate you? Or something like
yeah. That was okay. That was alright.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah,
goes and
so
sees M, and he's like, "Oh, is this desk bigger or are you smaller?"
Now, this is the thing. This is one thing that really, because this film does pull out quite a few tricks. This was something that really was. I was thinking, there's a chance. I mean, then again, you're flying around to two other villains as well. It would have been interesting actually if M was like involved with the villains in this. Like if M was a villain, and especially Ralph Fiennes' M.
Oh
as
yeah, he could have pulled that off.
He could have pulled it off. I think that would have been really interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been.
They didn't do that.
I was thinking through that.
I'm not sure though. I think M should be. This is the closest he gets. Like, but it would be interesting to see him get involved in some shady stuff, you know.
Apparently,
Because
Ralph-
obviously M would in real life.
Apparently, Ralph Fiennes tried to I think I can't remember if, but he fought really, really hard to either not be a villain or he fought really hard to not have him be a villain. I think.
Yeah.
Correct me if
So he
I'm
wants
wrong,
him to be a
comments,
villain.
but no, he didn't want him to be, and
No, but that meant the filmmakers might have been trying.
they might have been trying
Maybe.
to have like that.
Okay.
Yes,
Been
it
interesting.
And then they called Rami Malek, you know, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, who's the guy who did Bohemian Rhapsody?
Mr. Robot.
It's quite funny, by the way. Apparently, the way Rami Malek got this role was like he had lunch with Barbara Broccoli once, who very like Daniel Craig, just liked him. Was like, oh, we're gonna have you in one of the films one day, and that was like 20 years before No Time to Die.
Great.
Brilliant. So he sees they have this, because M's going on this mad run, he's drinking loads of whiskey.
Oh yeah, he's like, my God, you're thirsty.
yeah.
Which is good to be fair. Like,
Yeah, and
I like this.
M gets mad, I think that was really good, like back and forth. So anyway, then Moneypenny and Bond go and visit Q.
Yeah.
So
Just to note about this scene, I literally don't care about the thing that most people talk about.
implying that he's gay, yeah.
No, that's fine. It's the fact that they do it. It's so obvious that it's done so that they can cut it out for other markets. It's just budgeting because it's like they only want to show it pander to people who are in acceptable.
Yeah, but in
markets.
Saudi or whatever,
they'll just cut. They'll either change it to
yeah.
just she's coming, and they'll be like, "That's so spineless, man." Like,
that is.
go full on they walk in on him.
Put a pride flag in there. Why not on his laptop? He's got all these laptop stickers. Put something like let's do it. If you're gonna go down that road,
You have to commit to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that I don't, that they also really forced is Bond, Q, Moneypenny, little gang.
I like that.
No,
I like that
they
little
forced
team.
that way too much.
Moneypenny and Q,
they were
they don't really mix.
No, I like that because it's
So that's
continuous.
Maxwell and
It's
Desmond
in
Llewellyn
Skyfall
do, but-
and Spectre and this, and I'm like, that works.
Yeah, but
I
that
like
was
it. Little
friendly
entourage.
friendly co-worker kind of level. Here it's sleeping over at each other's houses,
No, I
they
like that.
No,
He's
Bond
like,
would-
it's never 9 to 5,
Bond would crash at Q's house regardless.
Yeah,
He would not
of
care.
course, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he'd threaten his cats again if he didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
No,
but this is the
these
point-
come with hair now. That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good dialogue. This
This
is
is
one
not
of the
bad.
better
One
moments.
of the
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
things as well is we're trying to get some stuff on your computer, right? We're going to open up all this stuff because that didn't go wrong in Skyfall, did it?
Yeah.
One
I like that he's virus aware and he's like, okay, into the sandbox,
One thing I do like about this bit is how there's an implication that because Moneypenny picks something up and then he's like, don't touch that. So it's the implication that Q uses gadgets in his home.
Yeah.
Which is
Of course
pretty
it
A lot
will,
of
yeah.
stuff gone missing from the office over the years.
Yeah.
I love as well. This is just a small thing, but throughout the whole of this film, the designs of digital stuff happening on screens and all that, and on Q's laptop, it's all red themed, and even all the data makes that of an iris. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So then we go and cut to Madeline, who is being, PC. She's like, oh, you can't say that, like.
Yeah, you can't call him a
Can't call
weirdo,
him
even though
weird.
he is a weirdo.
And then we meet Safin again. Now, I think this is actually his best scene.
Yeah, I think these are both very
This
good.
is good because
but,
he's so creepy and unsettling.
he
man.
is he's really silent sometimes. when he's supposed to speak.
I like this. This bit's good. This bit's
The
good.
less he talks.
And
Well, his bit.
I remember like when I saw it first in cinema, because I recognised immediately when the camera panned up and you saw that part of the face that you saw in the master
Yeah,
blast.
he looks fucked
There was like
up.
part of the cinema that like gasped or something, and then there were others. Actually, I saw this one twice in cinema. I just remembered, but like, and then yeah, I really like this scene because it's actually better than the psychology scenes in Spectre and Skyfall, in my opinion. Because yeah, no, I'm going a bit far there, but like I think it's really clever because like they both have these really messed up pasts, and they're just trying to like. It's like a game of tennis almost. They're trying to like whack it back to one
What
another.
I like what he does, he keeps asking like these sort of like
Unsettling questions.
he's like, it's hard to lose a parent, isn't it? And then it's like, he does that like at least 3 times in this film. He goes and like, I think that's so good. That is actually good writing and good delivery.
Also,
He does that so many times. It's like, doesn't it? He does it to Bond as well. Like, I think that's good. That's good.
Fun fact as well.
It's just stupid that he killed the whole of Spectre.
Yeah, true.
We forgot to even mention
I
that.
was like Bond blew up the whole Spectre last film anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Well, just that base.
Yeah, just
I
that base
think-
where all his employees.
I
are.
think,
Not
like-
No, that was in Italy, in Rome. That's when you see all the like members.
Yeah, but those are like
they're not all chilling in like the accommodation on that like place.
Yeah, but that's like all the people who do the actual work. Not
I
like
think-
the
No,
people
no,
who sit in meetings.
they wipe out Spectre. Like it's just stupid because you went and put everything aside to go and focus on Spectre, Inspector, and then you just do a 180. Yeah, you've done it 3 times now. You have Skyfall or Quantum, whatever. If you have Quantum, then Spectre, and then Safin. Like, it's just stupid. So it's like, so Spectre wasn't anything anyway. What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point?
They canned two films worth of setup for Quantum, so they can have Spectre.
Yeah.
Then they canned the entirety
For
of
no
Spectre
reason.
For this.
I get bringing back Spectre and Blofeld because Kevin McClory died, so they had the rights. So okay, let's use them. They didn't use them particularly well, but they used them. And then they just decide, actually, we're bored of that. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah,
Now we're gonna have this random villain who's like above all of them somehow. I don't know. It's
again,
stupid,
it just
man.
keeps growing and growing. It's like the meme of like the
the
puppeteer that
puppets,
gets more and more.
I think he
Ends
like
with like aliens or something.
on the villain though. I think like in this scene he's like. I think he's quite intriguing as a character, but they just don't use him enough. Like what they try to do with him, like they make him socially awkward basically, and kind of. He has like weird body language and stuff.
He never blinks, by the way.
He's just very one-note kind of villain. That's the thing. He's very one-dimensional, which is fine. That will work, and it's worked so far. But then when he actually has some screen time, then it's like. Okay, we got this earlier. Like, what have you got for us? I don't know. Could have been better. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like how it takes like. There's never like a psychology scene that goes normally in the Bond films. Like, and then like he just. I like how he brings the mask again.
That's great.
And then she's just like that really escalates it because I never forgot your eyes.
He's doing me a favour and then gives her this spray.
Yeah,
that was all good. That was all good.
It confused me the first time because it had the little Russian guy in the bottom corner saying, "Remember, guys, this mask from the beginning of the film."
He comes in, spawns next to you in the cinema, and goes, "Hey," and then whispers the plot to you. Like that's basically.
Remember the start of the film?
Yeah.
And he also
like a flashback and
he also does the "is it" thing again because she's like, "There's no one you can threaten me with." And it's like, it's not true.
Yeah,
Is it?
that was sick.
And then it cuts to Bond, so it kind of tricks him.
He was like, I suppose it still happens, but you have those like kids shows, and you have a guy in the court for like kids that are blind or deaf or something, and then you have like a guy in the corner like trying to explain everything. Like that's what this guy was doing basically. So whatever.
We get Bond and is it Bond?
Bond and M have a chat by the Thames, but that which is great. I like this moment. Although there's one thing that annoys me. I was so hyped watching this in the cinema when this was happening. I was like, because they're pulling out the On Her Majesty's Secret Service music, and I'm like, this is great. But then they cut it off at the moment of the climax. So I'm like, oh, what was all that for?
That's like this film.
They're
in a
giving
nutshell.
me musical blue balls. How's that possible?
I think
That's like
they.
this film in a nutshell.
I think
basically.
they like. Yeah. I think they do this film like this part like. I don't like how they use the On Her Majesty's Secret Service because that just shouldn't be done in general. I think.
Yeah.
And
This
and then
takes
also
just way too
also
far.
the bit where he like, oh, we used to be able to get in the room with our enemies. Like, no, he's in the shadows, just like in Skyfall, and just like
Yeah.
Inspector,
I've never
and just
heard-
like in Quantum.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
everything, man. It's like irritating.
So tired. Yeah.
It is tired. And it's like,
And yeah,
I'm
obviously.
tired.
I don't know, and it's just you've got Hans Zimmer on your crew. You couldn't ask for a better person to bring you an epic soundtrack, and he does a great job with the Bond theme.
But then they just recycle it from other films.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, so what's the point in bringing Hans Zimmer in? He probably cost 50 million on his own just to turn up. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and obviously Bart M explains that conveniently, of all the psycho, Blofeld will only speak to one person.
Your wife.
I kind
Just
of-
happens to be her.
I never
You buy
really, and yeah, because he's like so weird and stuff, and like he's so particular about his like personal history with Bond and stuff, as we saw in Spectre, and then
Well, how did that happen?
just let me finish, and then like, yeah, of course he knows she's a psychologist or whatever, and then. He's like, of course, he's gonna like try and get his finger in through the door through her or whatever.
Yeah, but
Okay,
So, like,
yeah, I hear that.
And she's also got like the connection to that world.
Okay,
surely,
I hear that.
surely she'd be forbidden from talking to him because she literally was involved.
Well,
in being
no,
blown
because
up by this
he
guy.
because they need him really more than he
Yes.
needs them.
Yeah.
So like he can refuse any psychologist
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
let
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
true.
good point. Yeah, so he's using her to still
Yeah.
keep the link alive with Bond. Okay, that makes sense.
There's like some Hannibal shit they tried though.
Yeah.
That never really. That always made sense to me.
Yeah,
actually,
no, now you
but-
explain that doesn't make sense. And then obviously talking about the nanobots once again. Again, this is another thing that's just been
Chips,
overdone.
Smart.
Yeah, we had it in
Smart
Casino
Blood too.
Royale, we had it in Spectre, and then we have it here again. So
Got a little radio in.
we get it.
In
We
what's
get
it
it.
called? Skyfall.
Yeah, radio's much better, but this is just stupid. You literally didn't
Yeah,
say it was
but-
bad enough in Spectre, but you're like, fine, whatever. Because they made a joke out of it.
Yeah,
24
but they need,
48
they
hours.
need,
I'm like, okay.
they need
this
smart
is
blood this
ridiculous,
time
man.
because they need to monitor Bond so they can explain later. Oh, no, guys, he can't go off.
So
guard
and
for
what
a
happened
reason.
to the smart blood in Spectre? Did it expire or something?
Yeah,
like, I
probably.
don't know. It's stupid, man. Anyway,
It was only an experimental model.
so then Bond goes to meet Blofeld.
But before we do, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
it's time for the
It's time for
final
It's the
official license to quiz.
I want to play a game.
On my
Because
part.
because the scoring and stuff is like kind of got all mixed up in that. We're just gonna go last goal wins with this. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, this is such a
I would have done something
Honest.
different for that, but
honest
okay.
to this film.
Let's do it.
All right. So
Here we go.
budget
nothing.
of this film. Right. Just to give you an idea, yeah. So yeah, the budget. What do you think it was?
230.
250 million minimum.
Henry is dead on actually.
Wow.
So
Okay.
first point goes to Henry. The box office.
I think I know this because it made a little less than Thor: Love and Thunder. So
I
I'm gonna go
think
770 million.
I was gonna go 750.
Final answers.
Yes.
Well, Henry's very close actually. It's $774 million.
Oh.
$153,007. So
Wow.
there you go. 2-0 so far. All right. So Felix Leiter, before he dies, reminisces about his childhood in Milwaukee, which is the biggest city, in which state of America?
Milwaukee.
That's Tennessee, isn't it?
No,
No.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
That's the biggest city in one state.
One state, yes.
Ohio.
No,
Kansas.
no,
Can you give us a region of America?
Missouri.
no. What? No.
No.
Should we just
No,
guess one?
guess-
and then
guess-
should we
guess.
just guess
No,
one,
we
and
just
then
No,
say
that's
closest?
dead.
Arkansas.
You can try like
I don't know,
turn
Atlanta.
taking. Atlanta,
That's,
no.
that's a city in Georgia.
I think it is a state as well.
No. Maryland?
American listeners are going to be like really. Don't know, Alaska.
I swear it was Tennessee.
No.
Washington.
Missouri.
Massachusetts. I said Missouri. Texas.
Rhode Island.
No.
Hawaii.
No.
It says this is the capital of one of them.
No, it's the biggest city.
Oh,
American states are dull.
Is it like a well-known one?
No.
So?
Oh no, not Wyoming. Montana?
No.
Milwaukee. Where the hell is Milwaukee?
Can I just pull out a map and start? If we're
Yeah,
both thinking
if
it.
you
Yeah, might
want,
as well, because
yeah.
I'm not going to get
Yeah,
it.
let's check this.
Okay.
Don't type in Milwaukee. by the way.
No. Maps. Let's see.
It's a US state.
Over here. Okay, Utah.
No.
New Mexico.
No.
Oh, of course not.
Nebraska.
No.
Arizona.
Where the
No.
hell is this? Oklahoma.
No.
That's
Iowa.
Iowa,
No.
yeah. Illinois.
No.
Wisconsin.
Yes.
That was the one.
Which
That's
one?
ridiculous.
Wisconsin.
Milwaukee's there. Where the hell?
Never heard of it.
I've heard of Milwaukee, but I thought it was like somewhere in the
There
south.
it is.
Fuck this. Fuck that one, man. Just discard that as a point. Wow.
Well, that goes to
Oh,
Henry.
3-0 then.
I'm so-
going to go 007 then.
So glad.
Die, Blofeld, die is a line taken from.
You only live twice.
what-
The book.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, I've been destroyed, man. 4-0.
So, yeah, 4-0 so far. Safin has a
Wow.
base in this film.
I've done my doctor. Remember you destroyed me on the very
Oh,
first
yeah.
licensing quiz? It's happening again. I think I lost 6-1, didn't I?
Yeah.
Alright.
Safin has a base in this film located within the disputed Kuril Islands. How many islands are in this chain of islands?
It's
17.
600.
No. James is close, by the way. It's 56.
Alright.
So, yeah, that goes to
600.
James.
Well, Japan has thousands of islands,
True.
man. It's ridiculous.
But this is just like one of the, and that technically belongs to Russia. So,
Oh,
they
yeah,
nicked
it's
it at the end of the
disputed
Yeah,
between
4-1,
Japan
yeah.
and Russia. So, 4-1 right now. In Madeline's office in London, Safin points out that she has foxgloves, certain species of which are toxic. However, it wasn't always seen as toxic, and was even included in a herbal medicine guide called The English Physician as a way to heal wounds, microbacterial cervical lefamdenitis, and epilepsy. This book was released in which year?
How did you find this? Can you give us a century?
I'm going to go 1900.
I'm gonna go 1873 because they were like adding cocaine and heroin into
It was
medicine.
It was in the 17th century,
So in the
Wow.
1800s, right?
1600.
Oh damn! I always get that messed up.
That's mad.
Great.
Alright,
So
5-1.
5-1.
Yeah.
So glad I got
Yeah,
that.
so hyped up, man.
Yeah, this
No,
film
3-3
is Daniel Craig's final Bond film,
This is how much he was paid.
and his total screen time in all Bond films comes out to 540 minutes, which is 20 minutes longer than Sean Connery, and how many more minutes shorter than Roger Moore's total screen time?
What a great. That's mad. He did. Roger Moore did 7 films, right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, is that including
Wait,
Never Say Never Again?
He did do 7.
No,
Yeah, he did do
he
7.
did do 7, yeah.
Yeah, Roger Moore, okay.
And,
Okay,
and
let's
Sean
think.
Connery's one is not counting Never Say Never Again. By the way.
Okay, let's think.
So.
I'm gonna go. Daniel
how many
Craig's
did Daniel Craig?
540, right?
540, yeah.
Roger Moore, I'll go.
620. That's what I'm going.
Nah, 540, I'll go 550.
Um,
Close.
Fine.
well,
Because Daniel Craig's
Daniel
films
Craig-
are so long.
Daniel Craig has, if you listen to the question, Daniel Craig has 540 minutes.
Yeah.
And how many minutes shorter than Roger
Oh,
Moore's?
shorter Roger Moore.
It's total
Yeah,
screen
five-
time.
Say like.
Wait, so the number's more for Roger Moore?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's how much
550
shorter?
then.
I'm gonna say it's 60.
Oh,
minutes.
10 minutes then.
I'm gonna say it's 60 minutes less.
Well, you're both way, way off, actually.
A couple more films,
But Henry is slightly closer, and that's 221 minutes shorter.
Oh.
So
yeah. Wow. What's Roger Moore's total one is what, like 760 or something?
761 minutes.
Wow.
across all films.
I should have done a bit more maths there.
Time well spent.
Well done, Henry.
Yeah,
You are the License to Quiz winner. So
Yeah.
how do you feel?
James won more films overall, but
Die, Henry, die.
Yeah, I feel so
Yeah.
great.
and ladies and gentlemen, we have the joint biggest margin of victory on this whole podcast.
Yeah, and I lost both of them. Lost
Yeah.
6 on twice, man.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
that is License to Quiz over and done with.
Done.
Yay.
Great.
Now you can watch Bond films in
Yes.
peace now.
Now, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we Bond goes and meets Blofeld. Not before he has this awkward reunion with Madeline, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lose control.
And then she like airs his handshake as well.
Well, she can't. 'Cause
Yeah,
she's-
I know,
Yeah.
but it's still like anyway. And then they go and Blofeld has the most drawn out, embarrassing, stupid, just like ridiculous. Like they like I don't know if this is in Belmarsh or why they decided to do any of this, but he's in some
funny.
chair which is like some like I don't know how we even compare that to. It's like a broken funfair ride, man. He's just shaking along this metal cage like it's taking ages, man. It's kind of like
to rotate and shit. It's like there's like conveyor belts in Captain Scarlet.
it's so embarrassing. It's so stupid. I don't know why they decided.
Because it's
why
meant
they
to be
made
like
this
scary
decision.
or something. It's just hilarious.
They
man.
just
It's ridiculous.
No,
this adds on
It's like from a
onto the
parody.
line. Yeah.
The thing is, I don't get is I forgot to notice or note down. Was he wearing socks?
I don't
Well, I
know.
don't think we saw.
Probably
it.
not.
We didn't see like this. whole-
If we don't see it, they're not there.
Yeah, we can assume that with him.
He's like barefoot in that.
So yes, Madeline runs off basically because she's scared. She touches Bond, so and then obviously Blofeld and Bond have a little catch up. We hear cuckoo, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, this is the thing I don't get.
Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Some of it's fun because it's like, oh, we're just two old men in a hole and trying to work out who's playing tricks on us.
I think the
I
thing
like
is,
that aspect.
you know, like the whole author of all your pain. In this case, it kind of works because he actually did fuck over 5 years of his life for like just because his henchman said something like stupid or whatever. But
yeah,
like,
and he had Madeline's phone number handy.
yeah,
or something.
but the funniest thing was like, I knew you would visit Vesper's grave. Like, yeah, we all knew that one, man. So it's like that's the thing. Bond gets in a predictable routine, which he gets punished for. But I don't. This is the problem. Seeing this, I mean, the cuckoo part was annoying, but they should have just made Blofeld the villain of this. Like, it would have made it. It sounds really very ironic coming from me, but like
After last episode.
yeah, no, but this should have been his redemption film. I think
Could have happened, yeah. They could have
been
solved
so
everything.
much. This really could have fixed everything.
Could have had a great ending, yeah.
This would have been great, but they threw it all away again.
And like it's very undignified for Blofeld as
Extremely undignified.
well. He's meant to be a really like big
It's
opposite
intimidating,
to
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Instead, he's just like this pathetic old man. Like
Yeah,
in
and at the
prison.
same time, I don't understand.
He's had his entire organisation wiped out in front of his eyes on his birthday.
Might we also point out that like the whole point of interrogation so they don't go wrong. Why do they open the glass screen or whatever? Just close it when Bond's the only one in the room, or if you can clearly tell he's getting pissed off. But no, my plot needs to happen. So he goes in for that.
And Bond's delivering Daniel Craig's delivering all these lines like he just doesn't care, man. He's like,
Yeah,
and I have to get. And the funny thing is, I have to.
yeah.
You can
He's
help
so
me.
like not
It's just,
Bond.
It's
at all.
just
like-
strange. I don't know what's going on here.
someone said like, oh, he's like Daniel Craig and not even playing James Bond in this
Yeah.
one. He's like, happy birthday, by the way, and it's like, it's
It
just
feels
so.
really weird.
It's like it's really uncharacteristic of Bond, especially Daniel Craig's Bond, and it's just like this is not the same person we saw like really like kind of sweating
Solace,
in
you know.
like Casino Royale or whatever, and then he's almost like whimsical in this. It's like
Doing
what's
a
going
Possible
on? Like,
impression, you
they
know.
gave Daniel Craig too much control in this film, and it's just shows so much.
And they paid him 25 mil for this too. So
Yeah, like
Huh.
that's
I
ridiculous.
would have given it a good shot at least.
Anyway,
Yeah.
And then we get the worst, the worst villain death
Strangest line delivery
since
ever.
Bane, I would say.
Yeah, he gets killed off screen.
Yeah, he just goes up to him and goes, "Die, Blofeld, die."
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because he's not even trying to strike
No,
him.
first he whispers, "Die." It's like, what? Die, Blofeld, die. And then he's just like, and then Tanner's like, "Oh no, Bond, you can't do that, mate." And then turns around and like Chris
He's just so like.
just slumped in his chair, like he's nodded off. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's really how you're gonna see Blofeld out. No, it would have been better to put a bullet in his head on Westminster Bridge, man.
Seriously, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the thing that's dumb. At the end of Spectre, they do this whole thing for sequel bait of Blofeld, and then they throw it away. It doesn't make sense. What was the plan?
He doesn't like. The thing is that he it doesn't even do what it's supposed to do because they kill off Blofeld and they don't even show him suffering from the virus or anything to kind of build up that as a threat.
What do you want to see him spasm?
You're right. Should his face burn off or something? Though?
Yeah, something like he dies off screen, man. That's he's the main villain of all of Bond.
Oh, Blofeld's dead. Okay,
right, moving on.
Yeah,
it's like the Clarkson meme where he's like, "Oh no." Anyway, literally that. Oh man, that's just so bad.
It's so sad. They've thrown it away.
Then Madeline says, "Oh, I'm going home." So Bond goes to Norway, and
she doesn't mean it.
Oh yeah, one more thing about the Blofeld thing, because when he's meeting M, he's like, "Oh, she's very good at hiding things to M," and then somehow Blofeld knows he said that to M. So he's also really good at, as you said, she's really good at hiding things. It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah,
it's like
he's slips the eyeball in his pocket or something.
Yeah. So anyway, then Bond goes to meet Madeline, has this quite emotional moment, which is I don't know if Daniel Craig's the right guy to deliver that, but
yeah, this is where the flipping romance thing, they drag this film. Everything that weighs this film down so much, the most at least, is
I just
it's
wish
the
they
emotional
had someone
stuff.
more I wish they had someone better than Lea Seydoux to be the recipient of this. Daniel Craig struggles enough with romantic.
You need someone. You need a Diane Rigg on the opposite.
You need someone just better. I couldn't really suggest who, but I don't know. I don't know who, man.
Bear in mind the age gap.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, yours.
But anyway, then we meet his daughter. And she's trying to be like, "No, it's not yours." So
which is
that's not really better, is it?
Such BS as well. It's not fooling anyone. I wonder who else.
And even if it does, what, you've been shagging someone else, or what? I don't know,
So it's actually Blofeld's child or some shit.
And it's so obviously his child, exactly. So anyway.
Yeah, Tom, that's a good point as well. I really noticed in this film, where you said they probably put a filter on to make his eyes even bluer or some shit.
Yeah, they're
obsessed with it.
Daniel Craig trying to make him so incorruptible and so PC in this film. He's so unshakable, and then he's
he's whipped.
He is, yeah, and then he's I don't know. He just had far too much. He only took this role because he knew James Bond was going to die at the end of it.
Yeah.
So he is
He's
directly detrimental to the character in more ways than one.
Yeah, that's true.
He's hurting.
He literally just wants to wash his hands of it. Basically, he just wants it to be actually done, so they can't ask him back for another.
Not only.
It's just such a.
If I was Broccoli, I would ask him again just to.
No, because Daniel Craig always said he hated the character and stuff. So it feels almost like he washed his hand, then pissed in it as well, just to make it, just to ruin it. And it's but
I don't really place the blame on him though, because. I think if they should have just left him he's not. He was a decision maker in this film, but he shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have called him back. Spectre, thank you. Shake hands. See you later. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's strange why they had him back here. It doesn't make sense.
It's just they're too afraid to cast someone new. Look how long they're taking now.
Yeah,
they're just afraid of
doing anything.
Yeah, literally.
It's they're sat on one of the most profitable film franchises ever.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to do, and it's ironic because they do take a lot of risks, but at the same time they don't really.
Mind you, I'd rather that than the Marvel Star Wars route.
Yeah, sure. If they're pumping out a Bond film every year, it'd be shit.
So anyway.
But it's not even these are top tier or anything after 6 years.
Yeah, true.
So then, so then we cut back to M. He's looking at a picture of Bernard Lee, which is cool, and Robert Brown is on the wall as well.
Judi Dench.
Yeah,
Judi Dench, as well. They're all there.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then we get this car chase. So Bond, Madeline, and Mathilde.
This annoys me, man.
Yeah.
You've got this doesn't feel like a Bond car chase because he's driving a fucking.
Yeah, it's so over the top when you see all the vehicles synchronising, like jumping over off a hill.
He drove the
That's like something out of like we're watching Fast and Furious now.
Yeah, this is the thing. He drove the Vantage to that house and then leaves in a family car.
I think the suspense in this is supposed to be the fact that there's a child in the back. So like I've heard people who are like parents and stuff who I don't know why they're reviewing Bond films, but like they're like so this is actually really clever because they have a twist on it because there's a child in the back.
Yeah,
as a parent, blah blah blah. blah.
We get that. We get it. That's not like that doesn't need explaining. We get the stakes are a bit higher now.
Man, you've got Timothy Dalton with a cello case. Got to make sure it's fine by the end of it as well. This is the thing. This place, you even see at the beginning, it's all like frost covered in ice. This is begging for an ice chase. This place in that car, that would have been a great homage. Yeah. And it's already kitted out with all the gadgets for it.
Yeah.
Oh well, so we have this car chase and they go from like some sheet ice to the jungle, you know, because
Norway.
That's normal for those two to be side by side. It is good though because we get the payoff now. Ash, he gets killed. Bond kills him.
It's proper.
This is great, man. Everyone loved that. He proper throws the car down.
Land Rover.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. He's like, Bond, buddy, we can work this out where we can team up.
Yeah, come on, brother.
I had a brother. And like he washed himself off like blood. It's like I had a brother. His name was Felix. Like, bang.
Can you imagine if he said?
Best moment.
Can you imagine if he said I had a brother? His name was Blow.
His name was Felix. Like, bang! Throws the car down on him. I think that's probably the Sigma moment of the film as well, man. That is fantastic. That is the best moment in this film.
Yeah.
Easily.
What about Anna de Armas showing up?
That's kind of for different reasons, but I would say this is like as a Bond moment, as a Daniel Craig moment, he nailed it. They all nailed that. As a character, we all wanted to see die. Is payoff for Felix, and we've often highlighted when Bond, an ally, has died and they haven't had their flowers. Yeah. And in this case, Felix he gets proper flowers, man. Yeah. It's so satisfying. Yeah. This is perfect, but.
We also get what's his name, Safford showing up.
Yeah,
weirdly.
as soon as Madeline runs out of bullets.
Yeah, the thing is that I kind of buy that because she's so protective of her daughter. She shoots people multiple times, and she does.
Adrenaline hits.
She does go through.
I don't have a problem with
and
that.
then he shows up, and then.
But yeah, he turns up and.
Ever since childhood, she
empties
clips like there's no tomorrow.
Then we have so Bond is like, oh no, so he goes and walks back to from Norway, whatever.
Because he
luckily
meets 007.
gets picked up by 007, which is cool.
She's driving a cool car.
Very cool. They get on the plane, Q's there, and they're like, yeah, okay, let's go. How does this work with gravity? He gives them loads of gadgets like QDAR, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
that's
an
really
EMP
funny.
watch.
And even more smart blood.
No, but it's really funny though. Like he's opening all these drawers. Like he's got his tea set. And he's like, whoops.
I love Q, man. I think he's great.
He's very good in this film. To be fair.
They give him smart blood, and they give them some gravity plane, which we kind of already saw in Die Another Day, but. So.
Oh yeah, you get that sort of classic thing where he's like, oh yeah, have you actually flown one of these before to 007? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it work with gravity? Like all flying vehicles.
And then you cut to the villain doing his weird walk in his new. But it's kind of funny, novel in a way. Like they get the villain you see setting up in his base as he moves in. You see people putting paintings up.
No, but I don't understand because he supposedly had this base for a long time because his family owned it.
No, they go through that when Madeline's explaining it's Bond. So because his family owned the island, then they were killed off apart from him. Then Blofeld took over. Now Bond's like, oh well, now he's come and taking that island back.
Setting up.
So now he's moving stuff back.
He's like. They should have had some guys pushing that shitty meteorite out the door.
Yeah. Throw it in the ocean.
Throwing all of his plimsolls out.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyway, so Madeline's captured there. She's refusing to drink this tea. throws in Cyclops' face and
we
dips.
we also get the bit where Safin has the vial that can kill Madeline.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh yeah, and he's giving her daughter a tour of the place. And
His like weird guard.
her daughter, who clearly doesn't speak English,
Yeah.
but is being explained everything in English. So
Yeah,
it's just it's just weird. It's just.
No,
The
when they also
poison-
take off-
And I'm not watching a Bond film at this point either. I'm watching his
A soap
missus
opera.
and his daughter. Yeah, exactly. And then this weird like villain who no one's made time for.
I'm obsessed with Madeline.
Yeah,
Half of
and
his
walking
life-
around his garden. I'm like, you know, what's going on?
Half of Rami Malek's lives are just Madeline.
Yeah.
And he like that poison garden actually is also taken from You Only Live Twice, the novel, because Blofeld, You Only Live Twice in the books comes after On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and that's like a gritty revenge novel.
You know what would have been far better? Imagine if you just replaced everything Rami Malek does with Blofeld.
Yeah.
Even that change would just everything he does
Even
make
if
it Blofeld.
even if it was like Christopher Waltz doing the same shit in Spectre, it would have still probably been better.
Definitely.
Because at least you know who
Also,
it is.
in the
Yeah.
novel You Only Live Twice, James Bond has a daughter as well, a child as well.
Oh.
So they take a lot of things from lots of places for
That's
this
interesting.
film.
But she's fucking French, man. Like, what is this? It's meant to be like, you know, England's most like famous spy, and then he ends up having a French kid.
Yeah,
who
but
doesn't
he-
even speak English.
They did
man.
that with
What
Sean
is this?
Connery when he was like Scottish heritage and stuff as well. So
Yeah, no, but
that ship sailed a long time
yeah, I know,
ago. in my
but
opinion.
whatever, man.
That's
If,
true.
even British shit, it doesn't matter if it's England or Britain, always at war with France. Why has he got a French kid? What is this, man? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Huh?
Well, you can't imagine having. I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah, he's got like a Scouse kid, man.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. Yeah. Well, anyway, so
They get in
Bond.
the
So then
base,
Bond
yeah.
turns up to the base with 007. They like.
Oh, he's
beat up the-
007 now for this mission.
Oh yeah, that was cringe, man.
She
It's
gave
like,
it back to him.
permission to give James Bond 007 back.
Yeah,
Permission granted.
because
That's okay. It's a little bit cool, but
because
it's like,
previously he wasn't reinstated as a 0, but they never say which one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
'cause
was
she's
he
like,
double-
what, it's
Which
like,
one? I kind of want to know.
I think that's a bit too much.
What was he, 009 for 5 minutes or something? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
004. We never got 004. So
And
anyway,
then 004 gets killed in Living Daylights.
That was 002, wasn't it?
No, 002 and 004
no.
get killed. They
Okay,
kill two
alright.
00s.
Anyway, so then Bond rocks up and he has a chat with Safin, which is also pretty strange.
It's so ineffective. Like it doesn't get anything
Yeah,
done.
yeah, exactly.
It's
I don't
like
really know.
oh, people want things to happen to them, and it's like okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
And
sounds
that's-
like it's a really shit version of like I think it's in Metal Gear Solid. There's some like video game where like people don't want democracy. They want to be told what to do. It's like some epic speech, and it's like they did a shitty rip off of
I
it,
think-
like a paraphrasing of it.
And
Yeah.
and he's not a kind of villain who's like who's cut out for giving big speeches like that.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah.
like some weird
He's good like one-on-one intimidation.
yeah,
with,
in like
Madeline or
settings
something,
like
but,
a psychotherapist.
Bond is just outsmarts him by like bending down and pulling his gun out. You know.
yeah,
so-
and
seriously.
and he
yeah.
just drops down through the floor anyway. So it's
that's
just
quite.
all weird.
I thought that was pretty cool. Like quite suitable for the villain to have like a weird getaway like that. But I think yeah, one thing that I really wanted to point out is like he has really limited screen time, but I think they could have made that really. It's not the first time a Bond villain has had really limited screen time.
Dr. No himself.
Yeah, Dr. No, I think he's like a really poor version of Dr. No, because Dr. No has only like, 20 minutes or 15 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
But it's
he's built
really
up,
used effectively throughout
Yeah,
the film. Like, they
it means something when you see him.
and yeah, they use his voice, they see his shadow, they see his hands,
yeah.
and then they finally show him at the end.
You
And
know what they really needed?
this
they,
one's just like...
They needed the Russian scientist guy to say, but he's scarier than the other villains. He's fear like you've never seen before. You know?
Yeah,
we
like
haven't heard
Monica
that
Bellucci.
20,000 times, you know.
So then, anyway,
Not-
so then we get one of the most bizarre scenes in the film when
Yeah.
you can take this one.
The
away
daughter,
'cause
like-
it's stupid, isn't it?
The daughter bites his hand, right, the villain's hand, and he's like, "Oh, we've done my protection. Go fuck off then." And then she does.
Yeah,
And then he's
that's
like-
it.
Yeah, because I was like, in the cinema, people laughed because it was so like strange. It
Yeah.
doesn't make
Yeah,
any-
I
it's like,
thought-
oh, this is my ultimate bargaining chip. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he would have been like that. Would have. I think they were. I don't
Maybe
know.
because he knew he was going to poison Bond later.
When he turned around and then he like bends down, I thought he was going to like kill her or something,
Huh.
and then that would have escalated it
Whoa,
so
yeah,
high,
yeah,
man.
Bit.
And then I think
A bit
the
too much.
filmmakers were like too scared to go there, so they were like, "Oh, we need to have him lose his child because we can't have him kill her." And then
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. It's
"Please
because
go
they
away."
waded too far in. They waded in too far with the child thing. So it's like, okay, how do we, get them back with Bond? Oh, let's just let her run off. No one will mind. No one will notice that.
It's like people don't care about the
So
film.
Yeah, but it's not
anymore.
even like she sneaks away or anything. Does it have full view of everyone, including
Yeah.
him? And he's just like, okay, that's really. There's like so many strange moments in this film, like that happen.
They're just trying to tie up too many loose ends, and it's
Yeah.
just like.
Yeah.
What is a good moment though is when Nomi kills the Russian guy. He says some like
That's
fair
terrible.
racist
story,
stuff, man. He's like, yeah, I could kill your whole race.
I don't even need a
Yeah.
rap, and it's like, her line is cringe, but
Yeah, no,
her
so good though.
her sending him into like an acid bath or whatever is there, I'm like, thank you for that.
What's the time? No time's time. Bang, and she kicks him off, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
That's
That's,
so cool.
great to be fair.
That's so good.
I think that's
I love
I
that.
think that's one of the worst moments because like
The line's terrible, but
the
like,
line is terrible, and
no, I liked
this character is like not been hinted at as being anything like that anyway.
No, I
He's-
think
no,
I feel that
was like
that
a
whole
lesser version of the I had a brother.
that whole character trait of his, which you see in that
Oh,
second,
yeah.
is just like some really shoehorned in like thing. and
I think
just-
it's. Okay,
Would
I
you,
like
would
it.
you rather
I think-
see Daniel Craig do that?
I'd rather that.
I like
that
it because
guy-
the way he triggers her, man. The way she looks around, like, cause
Yeah.
he's like, kill your whole race. And she just goes, it's time to die. Bang! He's like, oh, that's brilliant, man. It's like, everyone liked that.
Yeah,
Once
literally.
again.
And also getting rid of the most annoying
Yeah,
character
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
who shouldn't have been in the film.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, but
my
still-
solution.
But
for
still,
that
I'm
moment.
glad
agree.
he gets. It's like that bowl cut guy in Quantum Solace getting
No,
incinerated.
it's 10
man.
times worse than that. Anyway, so then Bond sees off his family.
Yeah.
He has a moment where he's like, "Oh yeah, because he's like,
I'll
oh,
be
you
back.
know, they're my like that."
What,
so
what I
that's-
don't understand though is like, why does Nomi get to go in the boat with them? Why doesn't Bond go in the boat? And
Yeah,
she can be,
trust me.
she can do her whole high achiever thing.
Yeah,
and be on the island.
yeah.
And
That's
if-
the point. Yeah, you know what, Bond? You know what? You're old, aren't you? You have a nice time with your family. I'll go and sweep up. here.
Yeah, like
That's actually
not
a
not
that's a
not
great
not
point.
such a high achiever then, are you? It's
That's
like,
a great point.
and it's
That's a really good point. That's just what the fuck.
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
that's completely unnecessary for the ending, but that
Yeah, 'cause
ending
all-
didn't have to happen.
Because as far as they're concerned, all they have to do is just turn up some like blast doors or
Yeah.
whatever. Then they're probably
she
like,
could do it 10 times quicker than
yeah, it's
you.
like, oh, this technology is so ancient, Bond. You probably were around when it was made.
And Bond wouldn't have had to deal with Safin as well. Even Safin, who's like
He can't read
weirdly
his luck,
aged
man.
and stuff, like manages to get the drop.
Oh
on
yeah.
it. It's like,
Might we point out one of the biggest things that weirded me out throughout this film is Safin must have gone to Madeline's house when he was what, like minimum 20, right? And he hasn't aged at all.
Yeah, well,
the thing
Rami
is,
Malek does just look young.
he's got that weird like. He's got like some condition, I think, that like makes.
No, but the guy looks young anyway. It's like Cillian Murphy. So.
I know, but they can't like. I don't know. Like the passage of time it's not really well done in this film.
Or whatever. I mean, I don't think, the
Ironic.
emphasis on it is ironic, especially the age gap between Daniel Craig and Leia Seydoux as well. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Bond sees off his family, then ascends to the control room,
Fighting
which is
pretty
cool.
much.
That's a cool gun barrel
And yeah,
thing. That was great.
he goes
That
up
was
the
so good,
he goes
man.
up the stairwell and he takes like a grenade to the face almost,
Pretty
and he's
much.
like, okay. There's like
It's
some
like the
ringing,
Batman,
and
you know,
that's it.
That's like a one take thing as well, which is quite well done.
That was so good. That was so good. Yeah.
I was
I
like
think
surprised how well.
how long it went on for was fantastic. And yeah, you have the gun barrel moment, which is great. Long, yeah.
Yeah, you have to get the bit where he's like in the control room. He's like, "Alright,
Oh,
let's go
before
for
he gets there, he kills Cyclops,
Oh yeah, true.
which
Yeah.
is in a really creative way because he
Yeah,
has that
just-
EMP watch
Yeah,
and
just
like,
show them your watch.
his,
Like,
his,
blow his mind.
his eye explodes. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I like the expectation subversion a bit they do as well, where like he's like saved the day and everything, and then he finds her toy and he's like, oh, I'm going out, whatever, and he's like launch the missiles, and then you get like the thing starts going again and it starts closing, and it's like, well, what's happening? And then he has to go up and is of course shot a few times by Safin who comes out the side, and to be fair, that did kind of the way it was
It's
done
kind of
surprised me as well, because loads of times there's like some really forced final confrontation with the villain. It's like I always think of like Elliot Kahn with that really unbelievable punch that like totally wouldn't like disturb Bond at all, and then at least with this one, like the guy actually shoots him a few times and then he gets like.
I hate the fact that it's this guy that gets to kill Bond.
Yeah, it's
that
so
pisses
dumb.
me off over anyone. And M can kill Bond.
Yeah, that's what
or
I'm saying.
you know,
Blofeld.
Yeah, I'll accept
That would be-
Blofeld.
if they're having a
anyone.
scrap, you know.
Bond could kill himself. I don't know. Like you can have anything happen.
Man,
I'd rather
his daughter could bring out a gun.
Yeah, he can like Maggie Simpson, man. He could slip on a rock and die. I don't care, man. Like
fucking 007 could kill
007 could kill him. Like anyone, man. Like
that Russian scientist guy could.
no, not him. But still, like Rami Malek, man. You do not deserve this, man. That's he's the one who killed.
How
Bond.
the
Give
how
me
did
a
they
break,
fuck
man.
this up? Like you don't even have to pay. You would save money
And
on
he's
not
like,
hiring him.
and now we're together whatever. Like,
Who cares, man?
Oh yeah, he manages to in this very short fight with Bond. He like manages to like scratch him with the thing, and
then breaks his arm though. That's
maybe
like,
that's a little.
Ooh, yeah, that was nice.
Properly,
that was
like,
great.
The only thing is as well, like I said to you, like literally while we were watching it, he's doing like some like shitty Orlov impression. It's like I'm gonna be remembered as a hero.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like no, you won't. You're like no one gives a shit. The thing is,
one thing I do like in this is when Bond picks up the gun and he's about to shoot him, and he looks at him one last time. You see the villain just smirk as if he knows like he's just fucked it all up for Bond. And then like he's probably behind all of. He's probably the second most content villain because he's like managed to at least screw over.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
The other thing though is the fact.
And again, that's not fair. All have earned it, man. Like,
Yeah,
he died for a cause.
He ran over the border into like. That was funny.
This is the thing though. This is the point where the film really starts falling apart because you can tell when you're watching this that this film has had the conclusion. That's how they started it. Then they wrote everything backwards. They're like, Bond has to die, so we have to make up an extremely contrived way of killing him.
way,
And it doesn't. There's so many points of failure. Like Nami should have gone. Like 007 should have gone.
Yeah.
Or he has this EMP watch, which could probably wipe out nanobots. Q has like lab samples of all this shit. He could easily deal with something.
Yeah. And where's the time limit coming from as well? It's like, we need to do this now. Where's the urgency?
All these boats are coming to collect. Just shoot them on arrival. Or you've got naval ships blow up the boats.
I think
that's what ships are for.
Yeah.
Oh, because there's naval disputes or whatever. Just be like, all right, Japanese and Russian Navy. By the way, slight problem. There's a bioweapon on this island. We need to continue.
Don't mind if we blow it up, do you? No worries.
Yeah,
it's probably dusty, but not
uninhabited as well. Like,
Anyway,
one thing I found really cringe a bit is, which I felt is another forced thing, is when Bond's like going around the base, you hear periodic like bits of M like interjecting and going, "Oh, we're attracting a lot of international attention."
International attention, my ass. Blofeld built an entire base on this island and they didn't give a shit.
Blew up MI6, mate. Like, it's come on, like, I don't know, twice. Anyway, that was all a bit over the top. Anyway, so then Bond climbs up. He realizes it's game over, which is pretty emotional. Like, first time watching it, I was like, oh man, like I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, because Q's talking to him, and then like Q's reaction is like, well, I'm like, oh man, you know.
No, but Q has to remind the audience, it's permanent, you can't change it. But
that does need to be reinforced.
That's another thing as well.
Because Bond is like having to accept that. I was having to accept as an audience member, surely they're not going to kill Bond.
If it had been anybody other than James Bond who like confronted Safin at the end, like he could have, like that little insurance thing he has of Madeline's DNA wouldn't have worked. It's because they could have just avoided them. Just because it was Bond, it checkmate basically, and it's like.
Yeah, that's really flawed.
There's a lot of contrivances to get to this point. Yeah. But I mean, and then the death is kind of like, the thing is, like, his death is like he gets like nuked off the face of the earth, man.
Yeah, I think that was done. I really felt that was intentionally done just to dispel
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
did he survive?
Did he
sort of
survive?
thing.
Yeah.
And I still heard people saying like, oh, he could have been
Yeah,
blown off down the corridor or something, and they
How?
survived. And it's like, after being shot and infected, I don't
They
think
just
so.
had to go. Yeah, exactly. They just had to make sure he's obliterated. Like,
Just
you
to
know.
and then
Well,
It was. I don't know. You know what I noticed the third time watching it? Hans Zimmer putting out another Time remix. You know, in Inception, he has that music at the end, which is like the mad, like emotional music.
that's so over the top.
And that was great in Inception. And then I heard it again the next year in Captain Phillips, and then it's just and then Hans Zimmer just pulls it out for James Bond's death, and you're like, okay. I don't know. My first reaction to it was definitely emotional. I wasn't like crying. I was just shocked, really. I was just like, I can't believe they've actually done this.
Yeah, can't believe.
Even if I didn't expect it, you expected it. But either way,
I was
just shocked they actually did it. I was like what? I can't believe that. I just couldn't believe it. I still can't really. I'm still like, I don't really know how to interpret this film. I don't really know how to rank it because it's not really a Bond film. This Bond dies in it. How can you stack that against, A View to a Kill or Doctor No or something? It just does. It's not the same because, like you said, it's written backwards. I don't know.
Another thing that I found so painfully forced is like the fact that like they go and then like, oh, we just need more time, and then like it's like they're trying to make it into they're trying to make it into Titanic.
Oh, never let go. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
She does have your eyes, and he's like, he should have just said no shit and then got blown up.
No, that was nicely written, all of that bit, but still.
That was.
I don't know.
That's not Bond. Like if
it's not
if you got that moment and then like I hadn't seen Spectre and didn't know who Madeline was, I would swear it's not a Bond film. I thought it was like some romantic film, and it's just like what's going on, and that weighs the film down so much.
And the fact that he dies and his daughter will go on speaking French. Like
his daughter will not care.
Although Madeline talks to her in English at the end.
One thing that I think's pretty intense is like when Bond's like bowing down to Safin or something. It's like, look at your father, Mathilde. This is power, and it's like I think that was quite a good line for the villain. But other than that was the only good line.
Yeah, like he has to bring up License to Kill.
Oh
You
yeah.
heard that, by the way. It's like, why is that relevant? We all know this one.
Yeah, it's like not here just to like
just for the
give
trailer,
flowers or something or whatever.
And then, anyway, so then Bond dies. MI6, the guys, they have a toast to him.
Yeah,
back to work anyway.
No, some weird shit as well because. M brings out shit that Ian Fleming wrote. It's like imagine at the end of the Batman Part 2, they pull out like a Batman comic and they're like, yeah.
No, that's different. I didn't know that. I thought it was some like poet or something. No, that's
that
cool.
was dead, man.
When I first saw it,
it's just depressing.
Yeah.
I don't go to Bond films to get depressed, man. I go there to like enjoy.
But then you got Untitled Secret Service, which is like kind of.
That was done like tastefully.
That was done well.
Yeah, that was done better.
And then this was like.
And Bond doesn't die at the end of Untitled Secret Service. That's the main difference. That's the crucial difference.
And
Casino Royale, they did the same thing. They killed off Esper. It's like, okay, like.
This just Bond violated like a part of the Bond character which is supposed to not be violated. Yeah. It's like Bond is supposed to have a nasty habit of survival. So like, and then it's like they just kill him, and it's like, okay.
But this is the thing, like I personally would not have that much of an issue with them killing Bond if it wasn't so contrived, and if it wasn't fucking Safin, like the most guy who has like 2 minutes of screen time killing him. Like,
you could have had any other villain kill him, and I'd have like respected
him. Yeah, Kamal Khan in like a fist fight, fucking Stromberg actually blows his nuts off.
But the thing is, like, Sam MI6 make this toast, and then Madeline drives off into the sunset, and she goes, "Oh, let me tell you about a man. His name is Bond, James Bond," and that's the end.
His name was Bond.
Yeah, and I'm like,
oh, that's shit.
Yeah, it's just like, oh.
She's got his DB5 as well. She's got all the bulletproof glass replaced, all that.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's it. It just ends on like a really.
She should have gone away in the fucking the vanish man and it disappears.
And then this film's final middle finger to the rest of all of the other Bond films is just use "We have all the time in the world" in the credits.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like On Her Majesty's Secret Service film, and it's just like, yeah, we're gonna artificially stick this on the film and hope you like it more, and it's like
that's the worst part. I really hope that. like it's the same thing with Blofeld. I hope that because most people now probably think of the modern Blofeld rather than the one from the end of times. I fucking hope people don't, because people already kind of have associate. Oh yeah, this is the one with all the time in the world, except it's not, because no one did it better.
Yeah.
Well, no, they won't even be aware that there was one before that.
Exactly.
So they just go, oh.
That's depressing.
Anyway, now we're going to move on to the rankings.
Yeah.
So you do the drill, Henry.
Yeah.
This is it. Here we go. Final rankings.
Finally. So for Bond actor at the current moment, we have number 6 George Lazenby, 5 Pierce Brosnan, 4 Roger Moore, 3 Timothy Dalton, 2 Sean Connery, and number 1 Daniel Craig. I would elect to move him down at least a third.
I think it goes below Roger Moore for this man. Because he actively hurt the character. There's no escaping it. He had him
Wait
killed.
a minute. Is Timothy Dalton second?
Yep. He had. Well, at least he didn't have James Bond killed, man. Like
Yeah,
he
Daniel
had
Craig's
James.
trying
He
to
had the
emulate
character
what he
get
did, man.
killed. He turned him into like this.
I don't think anyone's trying to emulate him. You really overestimate how relevant he is, man. In the thought process of making a Bond film.
You probably think they weren't trying to emulate what they did on the Majesty's Secret Service or something in this.
No, because that was obviously like an iconic Bond film.
You didn't even know he was like obviously going to die in this film either. That's what I'm saying, man. You don't pick up on this stuff. Just saying third or fourth?
Fourth, below Roger Moore.
Above or below Roger Moore?
Whatever Tom says. This list is bullshit.
Whatever. Okay, so we've got Daniel Craig at fourth, below Roger Moore, and above Pierce Brosnan. So that's that. Any final thoughts on this at all?
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy with how it turned out because just really.
I'll tell you how it should have turned out. Roger Moore 1, Daniel Craig 2, and then the rest.
When are we gonna pull out like what we predicted
Next
it was
week.
gonna? Okay, so like I'm really happy because like this is the only list in the whole rankings that I really had.
You actually agree with it?
Yeah, well,
Every single
almost
placement.
completely. Like
I would
the
put
top
Pierce
ones are
Brosnan
all
at
as
the
I
bottom,
would have
that's
wanted
right.
it.
Wait, you happy with Roger Moore at fourth or third ranking?
He's third, yeah.
Yeah, he's third.
So like,
In the top half.
I'm very satisfied. Like I'm so happy for all the films that I like that I've suffered on the ranking.
Like, Octopus is like third or something.
It's
isn't it?
fourth. It's not even top three, and like all the old ones are on the bottom as well. So like, this is definitely the biggest W I think.
Well, look at it this way though. To be fair, like, who your favourite Bond actor is so subjective anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
It's so divided anyway.
Because they're all good, even if you like Pierce Brosnan because you're a '90s kid or whatever. But like,
yeah, because I'm a '60s kid.
yeah, or if you're
obviously.
part of the IRA, you know. Anyway, I've got to pull that one joke out again. But still, moving on, we've got the longest list known to man, the Bond girls. So.
Oh, and we've got to rank. Do we rank Hannah Dahmer in this or not?
Yes.
Yeah, why
But
not?
she's not really a Bond girl.
She's
Doesn't
a side
matter.
Bond girl, really.
Well,
Although we do have BB on that list, so yeah, okay.
So-
So we're ranking her and Leia Seydoux again
Yeah.
to like see what she thinks.
Okay, 28 BB, 27 Christmas Jones, 26.
Read it from the
Goodnight.
top.
Yeah, but I prefer to do this for the last time.
Fine.
26 Goodnight, 25 Solitaire, 24 Stacey Sutton, 23 Tiffany Case, 22 Pussy Galore, 21 Aki / The Wife, 20 Jinx, 19 Pam and Lupe, 18 Madeline Swan, 17 Tatiana, 16 Melina, 15 Not Pussy, 14 Vespa, 13 Miss Anders, 12 Severine, 11 Honey Rider, 10 Holly Goodhead, 9 Domino, 8 Miranda Frost, 7 Waylon, 6 Camille, 5 Paris Carver, 4 Triple X, 3 Cara, 2 Natalia, number 1 Tracy. Long may that last.
Who's she like below right now?
She's below Tatiana, above Pam.
I'd leave her there. I think that's still a good
Yeah, I think
spot
so
for her.
too.
Yeah.
She had 2 films and she didn't do that much with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, such as the.
So
wonderful
where's
Thing of Lies.
Paloma going? Because that's actually
Paloma.
Hannah Dahmer's character.
Where do we feel like Paloma? I mean,
She's
It's
good,
hard.
but she just doesn't have
Yeah,
enough
I
to do.
think maybe below Miranda Frost.
Where's Miranda?
below
Frost?
Miranda Frost.
8th?
Above Domino?
Yeah.
No, below Domino. Domino has way more to do.
Okay, below Domino.
Alright,
Above Holly Goodhead.
Yeah.
Fine. Paloma, yeah.
Paloma.
Alright.
At 10th place. Alright.
Well, that does push Madeline Swan down to 19.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Now onto the villains.
Oh.
Okay. 26, Blofeld Christoph Waltz. 25, Blofeld Charles Gray. 24, Largo and Blofeld from Never Say Never Again. 23 Chris Santos, 22 Koskov Whitaker, 21 Stromberg, 20 Largo, 19 Gerald Hummel, 18 Electric King and Renard, 17 Dominic Green, 16 Rosa Klebb, 15 Dr. No, 14 Dr. Kananga, 13 Kamar Khan and Orlov, 12 Scaramanga, 11 Elliot Carver, 10 Hugo Drax, 9 Gustav Grays, 8 Fran Sanchez, 7 The Schifra, 6 006, 5 Blofeld Tavas, 4 Silver, 3 Goldfinger, 2 Blofeld on Plus, number 1 Max Zorin. So, where the hell do we put Safin?
I think he goes
below
around.
General Hummel?
I think he goes around like Electric King, Dominic Green territory.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
he's
Somewhere
just
there. He's got
so,
his moments, but just misused.
Yeah, underused.
Maybe
a lot
below
of-
General Hummel. I kind of like him actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Above Largo.
Safin.
I quite like Largo. Yeah, it's
20th place.
it's very
Safin.
low down anyway.
Below General Hummel and above Largo.
Largo has an eye patch though.
So
Okay.
then, yeah, Safin goes in at 20th on the
Okay.
list.
So, Henchman. 19.
So wait, who are we ranking? Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henchman, 19 bowl cut guy, 18 Hans, 17 Fiona, 16 Knick-Knack, 15 Stamper, 14 Winton Kid, 13 Locke and Eric, 12 Dario, 11 Bunt, 10 Teehee and Co, 9 Gobbler and the Twins, 8 Boris Zenio and Oromov, 7 Dave Batista and C, 6 Mayday, 5 Zhao, 4 Necros, 3 Red Grant, 2 Odd Job and 1 Jaws.
Oh, we should have Ash on here as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Ash and Cyclops.
Okay.
I think they're both pretty good, but they're not iconic.
Yeah, I like
The
the
thing
thing
is-
both of their deaths. I'd probably just put them maybe below Gobinder and the Twins.
Yeah.
Teehee
Yeah.
and Co, yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't had much time to like sink in and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So.
Ash and Cyclops.
I like how like Logan's meant to be a Bond fan as well. He's like
Yeah.
I was such a big fan of his when he sinks a thing, which is quite fun.
Okay, do we have a new car or vehicle in this?
Not really.
You don't care enough to put that gravity plane on
But
there.
you should read them out just
Of
for the
course.
final, from whatever order.
So yeah, we have at the bottom 18 the Moon Buggy, 17 the Citroen, oh we've got the shitty Land Rover which won't even make it to this list, 16 the Gondola, 15 the Moonraker boat, 14 the BMW Z3, 13 the Q-boat, 12 the BMW 750, 11 the Mini Plane, 10 the Croc Sub, 9 the Tuk Tuk, 8 Aston Martin DB10, 7 Lotus, 6 the Tank, 5 Little Nelly, 4 Aston Martin DBS, 3 Aston Martin V8 Vantage, 2 Aston Martin Vanquish, number 1 the Aston Martin DB5. So that'll probably say
I'm not going to lie, just as a final thought, I personally would have the Vanquish top. I think the DB5 at this point is just overused, and
He had a great scene though in this.
it did, but I think the Vanquish's chase is just literally the best in any. I think it's the best car chase I've seen, full stop, and it's so memorable.
job, man?
Well, yeah, well, that's
Half that
car.
filthy
There's
car.
many cars involved there. This is like one.
True,
I think
true.
this. Yeah,
That's like the
DB5 is a bit
ultimate toy
overused,
commercial.
but anyway, whatever.
Yeah, hopefully they don't keep overusing it. But anyway, so M, I don't know if this will change actually with this. Number 1, Judi Dench. Number 2, Bernard Lee. Number 3, Ralph Fiennes. Number 4, Robert Brown. So, does Ralph Fiennes get to move
Yeah,
up
I
in this?
think he should, but not really. Cause I think I'm still thinking about him in Spectre, where he was really good. I would put him above Bernard Lee, but I understand if no one
What
else
do you
wants
think,
to.
Tom? Because I'm kind of on the fence here.
I can take it and leave it. I mean, I'd still prefer Bernard Lee because I'm not for like reinventing the wheel all the time. But like, the thing is, he didn't really get they built him up with like some interesting things, but they didn't pay it off at all. Really, it's
Yeah.
just like
He just looks
yeah,
depressed throughout this film.
he's
to be honest.
shady and
Angry,
it's
yeah.
like I think this he
He has
was
some
better.
good
in
But he's
Spectre.
great though. I think
He has
he's
some
great.
very good scenes in this. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. Q will always stay the same as John Cleese, then Ben Whishaw, then Desmond Llewellyn, not from top to bottom, bottom to top. Anyway, moving on, we've got Moneypenny, Samantha Bond's at the bottom, third is Caroline Bliss, second is Naomi Harris, and first is Lois Maxwell.
Yep.
So not changing. Okay, Ally / Felix Leiter.
So we need to rank Felix Leiter, and this is where Paloma should actually go, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
he doesn't have any other allies, does he?
Yeah, I'm sure there is one other.
Oh, 007.
007, exactly.
Okay, so where do we... Because we've already got.
Yeah.
Felix
Well,
Leiter
we'll
here.
rank them separately.
Yeah.
So. Go
Well,
on.
Jeffrey Wright's Felix Leiter's number 4, still below VJ. So I think.
We'll read out the list and then
Okay.
we need to think about where to put
So,
007 as well.
21 Leiter Diamonds Are Forever, 20 Hip, 19 Leiter and Thunderball, 18 Leiter and Goldfinger, 17 General Gogol, 16 Jack Quaid, 15 Leiter Never Say Never Again plus Ron Atkinson, 14 Charles, 13 Tibbet, 12 Saunders and Pushkin, 11 Karen Bay, 10 Quarles Jr. Leiter and Strutter, 9 Colombo, 8 Q and Sharkey, 7 Kincaid, 6 Coraline Leiter, 5 Valentin Zukovsky, 7 Jeffrey Wright's Felix Leiter, 3rd VJ, 2nd Tiger Tanaka, and 1st Draco and Kanban. So Jeffrey Wright's Felix Leiter still staying below VJ?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
His death is so depressing.
Although
It's
he gets a better payoff, like revenge than VJ.
yeah, but that's because of Bob, not because of the ally.
True.
Yeah.
I love.
And,
Yeah, his death is a little bit embarrassing.
Where are we going to put 007? That's an interesting one.
Maybe above Karen Bay?
Let's call her Nomi because she relinquishes that.
Naomi.
I don't rate her that highly because
Yeah.
she was put in there for rage marketing.
I do like her though.
She
She's a
She
good
kills
job.
the scientist man. Which
Yeah.
but she doesn't like.
She doesn't do anything wrong.
She goes well. She does because she goes with his family when he should have gone.
Ah, that's
yeah,
true.
She pussies out, man.
That is true.
She doesn't earn
That is
her
true, that is
high
true.
achiever things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where do we put her? Who's Kincaid? Oh yeah.
So maybe like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Above Karen Bay then.
No,
below...
actually, I would say below because that puts her
No.
above Saunders and Pushkin, and also above Tibbet,
No,
and above Charles.
no. She's better than them.
She's not better than them.
She's better than Tibbet. Tibbet
Tibbet's-
carried his suitcases
Tibbet's great,
up
man.
the stairs, man.
I wouldn't put him above Tim.
Well, wherever then. I don't
Saunders
care
gets
that much.
sorry, Pushkin gets the bit where he gets assassinated as well.
Yeah, he has a good scene, man. I'd
Tibbet, above below Tibbet.
I put him below Tibbet.
Whatever.
Her below Tibbet.
Actually, she kills that scientist, man. I can't take that away from her. Naomi.
Yeah,
No,
and,
I mean-
and gets Born killed indirectly.
Yeah, but that's because of the writing. Anyway, Saunders and Pushkin at 12,
They
13,
should have had
13 Naomi,
Phoebe Waller-Bridge as the main villain in this film.
basically. Anyway, so now the gadget, 16 the mousetrap, 15 the exploding watch. I assume we're doing the EMP watch for this.
Yeah.
Sure.
14 Walther PPK, 13 Rebreather, 12 ring camera, 11 glass ring, 10 odd jobs hat, 9 acid pen, 8 bullet saw, 7 exploding pen, 6 the cigarette gun, 5 the key ring with stun gas, 4 the sniper rifle, 3 the attaché case, 2 the live and let die Rolex, and then number 1 the dart gun. So, do we really care that much about the EMP watch, to be fair? Because
It has
Well,
a
you
good
mentioned
moment where
it's
it's like,
useful,
oh,
yeah,
it
it's
really
cool.
blew his mind in this.
Yeah. So maybe below the glass ring and above the ring camera.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's
the dotted line of gadgets here.
the ring camera.
Yeah, the ring.
That's so obvious.
Yeah, it's so bait, man. Yeah, let me just take this picture real quick.
I take it, you flash. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't get a good clue on
So,
flash.
yeah, EMP watch. Which
Right.
doesn't-
I'm happiest in the sun.
Yeah. Right, so that goes there. Now for the theme song, I think this would be something interesting. Alright, I'll do this from top to bottom. Okay, so number 1, You Know My Name. 2, On a Majesty's Secret Service. 3, A View to a Kill. 4, Skyfall. 5, the James Bond theme. 6, Live and Let Die. 7, License to Kill. 8, The Living Daylights. 9, Goldfinger. 10, Another Way to Die. 11, You and Live Twice. 12, Goldeneye. 13, Tomorrow Never Dies. 14, The Man with the Golden Gun. 15, For Your Eyes Only. 16, Never Say Never Again. 17, Thunderball. 18, Nobody Does It Better. 19, Moonraker. 20, Diamonds Are Forever. 21, From Russia with Love. 22, The World Is Not Enough. 23, Down on the Day. 24, All Time High. 25, The Writings on the Wall. Obviously,
What's above you and live twice?
Another
above
Way to
You and
Die.
Live Twice.
That's
I
where
think
put
it goes around there, yeah.
Yeah.
What, above You and Live Twice?
Yeah.
Maybe
And
above
below
or below
Another Way to
that.
Die. Yeah. That's where I put it.
Yeah. Alright. No Time to Die. The one thing that I think drags down is it's literally just basically a breakup song. I mean, it
It's
sounds
just kind of edgy, and I'm not a fan of those kind of Bond songs. It's like, it's kind of slow. It reminds me of like those Roger Moore ones, you know, like it's kind of a bit dreary in that sense. It's not as bad because like they didn't want to do that as much. But
Alright, but we do have to do a bit of chop here. Because we've got the opening, which is like half an hour.
which is the least chop thing ever.
Okay, so the opening, number 1, Down on a Day, number 2, The Spy Love Me, number 3, Goldfinger, number 4, Octopussy, number 5, Moonraker, number 6, GoldenEye, 7, Living Daylights, 8, A View to a Kill, 9, Tomorrow Never Dies, 10, Casino Royale, 11, The World Is Not Enough, 12, Skyfall, 13, On a Man's Secret Service, 14, From Russia with Love, 15, Spectre, 16, The Man with the Golden Gun, 17, Quantum of Solace, 18, License to Kill, 19, You Only Live Twice, 20, Thunderball, 21, Live and Let Die, 22, For Your Eyes Only, and 23, Diamonds Are Forever. Where does
I'm
this
gonna
one
go out on a limb and say this is the worst intro. Just flat out, because it's so long and it just sets up the rest of the film. It's
It
a
literally
big
has
mess,
I Miss
man.
You in it, man.
It's not good.
Is it worse than Diamonds Are Forever?
I wanted to say that as well.
Is it worse than Diamonds Are Forever, though?
What is yeah. Diamonds Are Forever's got some like.
Diamonds Are Forever.
that
like,
was-
it's
That
like-
was quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like
Didn't take
mangling the
24
corpse
minutes.
of one of Majesty's Secret
it's
Service.
yeah, I know,
So
but
did this.
yeah,
True.
it is. It's
True.
it's mangling a whole Bond
And
franchise.
And she's French. Well, at least you get to see Charles Gray get sent into hell, man.
Yeah, it goes he goes into like pancake mix or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other guy who's in like potato, like mashed potato or whatever.
That one's like funny.
You get the
for
mouse trap, you know. You get that band and like dubbing. God, when the guy's not even speaking. Alright, no time to die.
Hit me.
Flat at the bottom, don't care. Okay, got a Sigma moment.
Yeah, when he was like, I had a brother's, it was
Yeah.
really exciting. Bang!
Okay, so from the top, Goldfinger, I own the club. 2, yeah, a convenient coincidence. 3, you only get one shot at life, why waste it on sleep? 4, the backgammon scene from Octopussy. 5, you missed Mr. Bond. Did I? 6, Red Grant. 7, Mads Mikkelsen. 8, now we know what C stands for. 9, Q, I invented them. 10, Blofeld's extortion. 11, Dr. No. 12, Carver's insanity or whatever, being a genius. 13, thumbs up in The Rock. 14, Timothy Dalton's Bond. 15, So Does England. 16, Launder It. 17, Natalia vs. the Computer Salesman. 18, Dominic buys Bolivia. 19, Make Sure They Lose in This Casino. 20, Tracy's Already a Countess. 21, Scaramanga, Mr. Fat has resigned and the chairman of the board. 22, Eric. 23, Blofeld Prepare My Battle Submarine. 24, David Niven. 25, Names for Tombstone's Baby. Number 26, for King Country. And 27, Q for Never Say Never Again. Where does I Had a Brother go?
I really think Doctor No should go a bit higher on this, but
That's for next
I
time.
think around that area between somewhere like between underneath Doctor No or around like and now we know what C stands for.
Yeah, I agree.
No, but Carver's one where it's like the distance between
I think
sanity
that's-
and genius is measured
So
only by
that's true.
success.
That's true as well.
And
yeah.
he's literally like,
But this is better.
install
He
like
kills Ash. man.
make sure there's loads of bugs on their stuff so that they have to keep up.
The thing is with Elliot,
This is personal.
I think there's
This
a big
is personal.
dotted line between that and Elliot Carver's.
Okay, so we're putting them below Doctor No then.
I put,
Below.
This is more satisfying.
Yeah,
I
I
put him
guess.
below. The thing is that Elliot Carver's thing sounds almost.
In fact, to put him above Blofeld's extortion as well. Extortion is my business.
that is very
My
Sigma
brother's
though.
name
Like
is
Extortion
Felix
is my
Leiter.
business. Nah, I think we'll have to put it below Blofeld's
Fine,
extortion.
fine.
I had a brother. I got a brother.
small
Small
world.
world. Anyway, so finally, the final rankings of the films. Number 1, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Number 2, Skyfall. 3, Goldfinger. 4, Octopussy. 5, License to Kill. 6, Moonraker. 7, The Living Daylights. 8, The Spy Love Me. 9, You Only Live Twice. 10, Die Another Day. 11, GoldenEye. 12, Casino Royale, The Good One. 13, Tomorrow Never Dies. 14, A View to a Kill. 15, Quantum of Solace. 16, The Man with the Golden Gun. 17, Live and Let Die. 18, Doctor No. 19, From Russia with Love. 20, The Rock. 21, The World's Not Enough. 22, Thunderball. 23, Spectre. 24, Never Say Never Again. 25, For Your Eyes Only. 26, Diamonds Are Forever. 27, Casino Royale.
What's below Spectre?
Never Say Never Again.
Ooh.
I think I put it right there.
Below
Yeah.
Spectre.
But yeah, below Spectre, man. Like
Although I don't think it should be above Thunder. I think Thunderball should be below both of them.
Nah, I'd rather watch Thunderball.
At least
That's-
Thunderball, you can expect Bond to be alive.
You get loads of good Bond moments, and that is like where he's shooting the.
Nah.
Where he kills Vargas.
I hate Thunderball, but I think that's just me.
I also kind of hate Thunderball, but anyway.
I think Spectre's certainly better than Thunderball.
So we're saying this is worse than Spectre, though.
Yeah.
Alright,
Don't
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
It is worse than Spectre.
Yeah. Somehow.
It had potential, like. But
This
it
is-
just,
This has potential in spades, but they threw it all away. It's so depressing. That's the most depressing part of this film. The fact
that's the thing. I left with more hype after Spectre than I did with this. I was like, because James was there, he was like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I don't think it'll age well." That was like, at least I went into school the next week and I was trying to like convince people to watch Spectre. I was like, "Yeah, there's Blofeld and stuff." And
Yeah, because you feel good after it. So it's a feel good ending. So
Yeah.
like that's this is just like
Bond's
Now
dead,
what?
guys.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of killed the Bond industry a little bit now. Because so what do they do next? Do they bring back a DB5? Do they bring back? It's like
do
they
they do a
can't really.
timepiece?
Yeah. What do they?
Well, we will discuss that in our bonus episode.
Yes.
If and when we get around to doing
Next
that.
week,
So,
probably.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. And then if anyone has any like mad suggestions for like what would they want to see next, we're all ears. This is we've done Batman, we've done Saw, and we've done Bond. So we're kind of going to see what we do next. But if anyone has suggestions, they'd be welcome. We will do a couple more follow-ups on the Bond series at least, and we'll see what happens after that. So. Stay tuned, and we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.